from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, it's the 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by the New Orleans Saints. Today, we begin our second full day of coverage with the Class 2A championship matchup between the St. Helena Hawks and the Welsh Greyhounds. Welcome inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, everyone. Alongside former LSU Tiger Greg Bowser, I'm Garrett Walbert. We'll soon be joined by our sideline reporter, Jessica Province. Greg, it's a special time for both these programs looking to track down their first state title.
Well, both of them are excited about that, but they're not just excited to be here. They want to win this thing. It's your first chance at it, and how great would it be to win it the first time that you're here?
St. Helena, 12-2 on the year, are led by their four-year starter at quarterback, Ricky Travis. He's got some big numbers. He's a special talent.
Well, Ricky Travis is a guy, you look at him, he can run the football, but don't sleep on him throwing it as well. He can put it in the air. He runs their offense, and I think he's going to be the guy that you have to really take under control as a defense if you want to have any chance of winning a football game.
He's got a big grown man protecting him. That's Osiris Torrance. Ed Ogeron saw him and said, that's a full-grown man. I think he's a special talent, too.
Well, everybody who sees him thinks he's a full-grown man, over 300 pounds, and he's a guy that can move well. The coaches like what he does up front for him, and he's the one that's going to be the run stopper inside for them.
For the Welsh Greyhounds, just one loss on the season. The guy that makes it go is the quarterback, Zach Hayes. He's a multi-sport star.
Well, Zach Hayes has been around. He's a guy that they depend on to really move the offense. The thing about it is, Welsh started, they lost a couple of games, and then they got on the run, and now they just want to keep the momentum going, and Hayes is the guy that makes the offense go for him.
We can also talk about Alec Igas, another special talent. He works both ways.
Alex will probably be the most versatile athlete on the field. He's got all kinds of talent. He could probably play any skill position out there, but he's an exciting football player.
Greg, we've got a great day on tap. When we return, we'll have starting lineups, and we'll roll everything out for you inside the Superdome. It's all coming up next here on CST. The 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic, presented by the New Orleans Saints on Cox Sports Television, is brought to you by the All-State Sugar Bowl, title sponsor of all LHSAA state championship events. The New Orleans Saints, presenting sponsor of the LHSAA Prep Classic. Wendy's, kickoff sponsor of the Prep Classic. Baden Sports, passion for a better game. Talkin' T-shirts, official merchandiser of the LHSAA. And by CST, 15 years and counting. Visit CoxSportsTV.com for more on your leader in Gulf South sports. Here's a look at Welsh running out on the floor of the Superdome. Took out a couple of their own players, but they are fired up and ready to try and take home a state championship in those black jerseys, red pants, and chrome red helmets. Beautiful setting inside the Superdome for today's 2A title. Garrett Walbert, Greg Bowser, Jessica Province will join us shortly. These two teams with just 3 losses between them should be a fantastic matchup to start our day 2 of LHSAA Prep Classic coverage here in New Orleans. Greg, we take a look at the Welsh Greyhounds. These teams come in very talented. They ran off a nice win streak earlier on in the year. Their only loss is to Notre Dame, but they followed that up with a big win against Ville Platte next week, 56-6. They went 8-1 this year. They've got a lot of talent.
Well, they do. They started off 7 in a row, just the way you want to do, start your season. And I tell you what's indicative of where they believe their offense is, they're going to take the ball. They want to toss. They want the ball.
We'll stand by now for the invocation as the players bow their heads here on the field.
No matter what happens, Lord, let our love and worship for you supersede the things that are in our hearts. God, I pray that you be with every athlete. They have worked so hard to get to this point. So God, help them to finish hard, help them to fight hard and leave it all on the field, knowing that you receive all honor and glory and praise. God, protect everyone from injury, and I pray that you bless everyone as you see fit. In Jesus' name, amen.
Our colors are being presented by the United States Marine Corps. Our national anthem will be performed by the Greyhound Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Neil Quinn.
stirring rendition by the Welsh Marching Band, the proud members of the black and red, filling up the dome here. Let's go down for the first time today to a veteran member of our crew, Jessica Provich. Jess?
Garrett, thanks so much. If you take a look at the St. Helena sideline, you will see number 8 spread throughout the team as the players are wearing it on the back of their helmet and the coaches are wearing it on their T-shirts. Now, the reason for number 8 is that is the number that senior linebacker Aaron Hurst wore. Aaron Hurst received an injury or had an injury last Friday, a broken neck bone, and he had surgery on Saturday, but was actually up walking on Sunday. Now, the significance of number 8 is that they're coming back to win state for 8. If you take a look at Twitter and social media, that is what you will see trending regarding the St. Helena team, and I know today they are really looking to bring it home for Aaron Hurst and win state for 8. Guys.
Thank you very much. We know a lot of people are thinking about number 8 today. Greg, that's like losing 2 players for St. Helena, not only your starting running back, but a bad man at linebacker.
Yeah, he is, and he's the heart and soul of what this team's all about, and we just hope that they can pull together and put out a really good effort today without him.
St. Helena, 10 games over 500. There's their head coach, Brandon Brown, brought to you by Red Zone Fundraising. Brown now in his 5th season at St. Helena. This is their first trip to the championship game under him. They made one in school history back in 2004. And John Richardson, again brought to you by Red Zone Fundraising, the head coach at Welsh, again in his 5th season. First state championship game for the Greyhounds under his direction. Boy, they beat some pretty good teams to get here. Took out Springfield 55-7 in the opening round. And then they obliterated Kinder, the 4-time state champ, 44-14. Then they beat a talented Manny squad 28-18 at home. It's been a great postseason for the Greyhounds so far. We take a look at the road to the Dome for these teams, and we talk about beating some lower-seeded teams in Springfield and Independence. They took away and only gave up 1 touchdown in those 2 games. And then Kinder and Manny gave them a game, Greg, but you look at how bad they beat Kinder. That's eye-popping. Well,
it is eye-popping. When you get to a quarterfinal round and you can put up 44 points against anybody, I think that's got to get everybody's attention.
The road to the Dome for the St. Helena Hawks. Remember, folks, they have 42 total players on their roster. Yet here they are in the Superdome. They took out Lauraville and South Plaquemines in stunning fashion, and then they had to beat some heavyweights. The 3-seed Meat went down by a field goal in a classic game on the road at Faraday. Everybody thought that Faraday would be here in the Dome, but they won the defensive battle 12-6, and that was a game that St. Helena scored a touchdown on an untimed down at the end of regulation and won it.
You have 42 players on your roster. It's hard to make people believe that, hey, we can get it done in this stage of this age of fast-paced offenses that really wear you down. But credit to them, they were able to get it done with a small number of players, and hey, they have a chance to be state champions.
I think they want it. So does Welsh, and that's evidenced by the fact that the Greyhounds won the toss and called for the ball. Do you like that?
I like it because that shows you the confidence he has in his offense. He wants to put his best team on the field first, and that's the offensive unit.
So the Hawks fans and the Greyhound fans settling in here in the New Orleans Superdome. We're glad you're with us on CST and logged on online on NFHS Network. The first of 3 games, and we are almost ready to get underway. And it's time for the Wendy's opening kickoff. Looks like Durenzino. Number 29, deep, Durenzino. The 2017 2A championship game is underway. And Zeno will take control of it. Piled up at the 30 and driven down, and we are ready to get things going. A pretty talented offense about to come onto the field. Quarterback, Zach Hayes, number 15, just a shade under 6 feet tall, 175 pounds. And you look, the numbers are very good, completing over 60% of his passes, nearly 2,500 yards. And when you've got those kind of numbers, Greg, passing 26 touchdowns against 5 picks, he's very accurate.
Oh, he is. I mean, he's almost 62% completion on his passes, so he's going to be accurate. But don't discount him. He can run with the football as well.
Senior quarterback, hands off. They'll run it up the gut and get positive yards on the game's first play. Let's take a look at our red zone Welsh offense. On the offensive line, 3 juniors, a sophomore, and 1 freshman trying to create the push today. Charlie Watkins at running back, a talented player, over 1,000 yards. And Darren Zeno will try and get things going on the outside. He could slip around and be also involved on offense in the backfield. They'll spread it out 3 wide, roll with a fullback. Ball on the 35-yard line. Big tackle for loss by St. Helena. Our focus player, Osiris Torrance, 6'5", 330. Making himself felt early.
Now you watch him here, you know, he just breaks right through the line of scrimmage. You know, once he gets it going, it's tough to stop him. I think what they're going to have to do is double team him as the day goes on if they're going to be successful, especially running the football.
Well, he's inside, so he's a tackle. You take a look at the guys for Welsh, 250, 170, 195 in the middle of their offensive line. They've got to find a way to stop him. So now 3rd and 8. Hayes passes just off the fingertips at the 40-yard line. We take a look now at the defense for the St. Helena Hawks. Come in. Alex Self, Osiris Torrance, Dravion Hitchin, and Brant Muse getting a lot of push up front early on. Taylor and LeBlanc at linebackers, and a very talented secondary, all of them upperclassmen. I'll tell you what, these guys are going to bring some talent back next year, but right now, trying to take home a title in the Dome.
Well, it's a good start defensively. You hold them to a 3 and out. Now you have a chance to get the football and put your offense on the field in good shape.
It'll be Troy Hurst who will return this one. A short punt, a spinner, out of bounds, and St. Helena will take over with pretty good field position right near the fleur-de-lis at midfield.
You know, as you score this game along, this is a win now for St. Helena. You know, you play defense first, you're forced to 3 and out, and you got good field position for your offense on its first drive. You take a look at Ricky Travis. This guy has impressive numbers. I mean, over 1,000 yards running the football, but nearly 1,000 yards passing. So he's that true dual threat that most high schools love to have back there, quarterback.
Travis, a 4-year starter, and Coach Brandon Brown rode with him from day one. Took some lumps, but now one of the best teams in the state. Wow, 4 wide receivers set to the near side. Bottom of your screen, 1 man in the backfield. Flag flies, both sides of the field. They're going to push it out. I think this one's going to be on Welsh. Should be positive yards coming for St. Helena.
Well, St. Helena early on, they're indicating exactly what they want to do. They want to spread out the defense and let the quarterback have control of the football game.
During the regular season.
False start on the offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So Barker with the penalty. In the regular season, St. Helena won their first 2 games before they fell to 1A Varnado. They ran off 4 wins in a row after that and got revenge on a 19-12 loss to Amite by beating the Warriors 35-32 in the quarterfinals. Trips to the top of your screen. Here's some D-line pressure from Welsh. They try to get him in the backfield, but he escapes. And we take a look at the offense for St. Helena, brought to you by Red Zone. For St. Helena, 4 juniors across the line. Very talented. Hitchens, Muse, and Muse in the middle. Jeremy Griffin, 5'5", 175-pound tailback, a senior. Let's see what his upperclassman abilities can do today to try and move his team forward. Now 2nd and 14, trying to turn the corner, and nobody sealed the edge. Big tackle for loss for Welsh.
It's a good job that time by Zeno playing the outside. You watch him as the running back attacks the line of scrimmage. Watch him press the line of scrimmage. Now it bounces it to the outside. Watch Zeno 29. Doesn't get hooked, stays outside, and the ball comes right to him. That's just how you draw it up as a coach. Keep that outside shoulder free. Zeno did that and was able to make the tackle.
Griffin, today's backup for starter Aaron Hurst. He scored the team's first touchdown in that semifinal win against Faraday, but now they're looking at 3rd and long. 3 wide, top of your screen. Let's see if they can get a mismatch. He's got time to throw. And just overthrows the receiver by about 5 yards, trying to put that in the hands of Devin Taylor. And now here's your Welsh defense, brought to you by Red Zone Fundraising. The Greyhounds up front with a pair of seniors, a junior and a sophomore in John Daigle. Everyone on this starting lineup, an upperclassman with the exception of Daigle, who's a sophomore. They get a lot of pressure up front with their guys. We'll see how well they can track down these 4 and sometimes 5 wide sets run by St. Helena. That was Austin Benoit, the junior. This is a long snap, and they'll get this one away. Could finish inside the 30. And it does. Welsh will take back over on offense as we tick under 9 minutes. We'll step aside, come back, and the Greyhounds will have the ball, trying to score first in our 2A championship game on CST. Scoreless game between St. Helena and Welsh to get things started on CST, our LHSAA Prep Classic. 9 starters back on offense for Welsh this year, including the senior quarterback Zach Hayes and Charlie Watkins. So St. Helena will settle in on defense. It'll be Hayes, who threw for over 2,500 yards in the regular season. It's a keeper off the left end. He's got room to run. And finishes about 2-3 yards shy of a first down.
Well, this is just getting Zach Hayes involved in the game here. A little zone read. He's not even reading it. It's a quarterback keeper all the way, and just trying to get your best player involved in the game offensively.
Right side of the line came around, pulled the guard, and they were able to give him a little bit of extra room to run. Now 2nd and 3. Up the middle again, and boy, that's tough sledding up the middle of St. Helena's line.
Well, you know, you've got the big man inside there. You don't want to go in there. And that's the biggest problem.
Torrance listed at 330, number 78, and then Dravion Hitchens, 6'3", 380.
Yeah, Torrance, you're not going to move him out of there. So I think the best thing you can do is run away from him, make him have to chase the play, and I think that's where you're going to be most effective in running the football.
How scary is it that Hitchen and Torrance are both juniors? Going to tear up their district next year. First down pass near sideline. They'll push him out of bounds, and Welsh will move the sticks. Nice pickup there.
Well, this says how much respect that they have for that defensive front. When you got a third down and short and you decide to throw the football, you just can't run it inside.
There's the defensive back, Austin Benoit. So a fresh set of downs, ball at the 45, and a quick snap gets some positive yardage. There's Zeno, 5'11", 170, a junior and a playmaker. I was talking with Lee Burkeen, our recruiting savant, before the game. He says not a lot of people are hip to him. This is going to be a breakout game for him. Delayed handoff in the backfield, brought down on the fleur-de-lis. Again, positive yards on several plays in a row for Welsh.
Well, there's just not a lot in the middle in running the football. They're intended, they're just going to try to force it a little bit just to keep the defensive lines honest. But I think for Welsh to win, they're going to have to throw the football. They're really going to have to go the quick passing game, take those defensive linemen out of the game.
That was Alex Iges on the carry. Now he'll provide protection and overthrows the receiver on the far sideline.
Zach Hayes just missed him that time. He had his receiver open. Again, it's that quick passing game. He gets the ball. He's in the shotgun already. Takes one step and then lets the football go. That stops the pass rush from getting to him, and he can get the football off. I think they're going to have to do more of that as Welsh starts to move through this football game.
So back-to-back punts coming up for Welsh. Able to move the ball, but not move the chains here. So this will be 87. Trevor Lopez, who handles all the kicks, a 5'10 senior. Really needs to put a boot into this one. End over end. And it's off the hands of St. Helena, still on the ground. The Hawks trying to recover, and they do inside the 10. Head coach Brandon Brown about had a heart attack, but the Hawks come away with it. Wow.
Well, St. Helena really fortunate that they got that football back, after about a 40-yard kick. And all of a sudden, they have a chance for a return here, and I think what happens is there's hesitation as to whether or not he wants to field the ball.
Off the hands of number 9, Troy Hurst. right through his fingertips.
Well, Troy Hurst, I think he was a little indecisive. Didn't know what he wanted to do. They're going to give the ball. Looks like they're going to give the football to Welsh.
Wow. Because the replay doesn't show that at all. That's a recovery, but they might say the first time Welsh had it, they were down. So the head officials have put the ball in the hands of Welsh.
What a big break early in this ball game.
They just moved the ball 45 yards down the field. Now they're inside the red zone. Big moment. Can the Greyhounds capitalize? Greg, I don't think they ever had the ball.
I don't think they did either. If you show you on replay, the ball's going to bounce around. Now watch, he misses it right there. Now the ball is live, but the Welsh guy tries to pick it up. He never has possession of the football, and then St. Helena recovers it again. Unless they're calling him like they thought he had possession right there and calling him down, because that's the spot where they placed the football.
That's the linebacker, Josh Pickle, playing on special teams. So an early mistake by the referee crew. Here's 2nd down and 10. And St. Helena shuts the door. Nobody running through their line right now, a loss of 2.
Well, guess who?
Yeah.
Big 78. I mean, you tell your quarterback, go to the line, find 78, and check the other way. Don't run the football that way. Because you look at Terrence, look at his numbers. I mean, he 43 tackles, 17 for a loss, 4 sacks for the big man.
Typically, you don't see interior tackles come away with big sack numbers, but he's got it. 4 wide set for Welsh. 3rd and long.
Last time they had a 4 wide set, they decided to throw back to the man-to-man coverage to the single receiver on the right-hand side. See if they come back to it.
Pressure on Hayes. Not much of a gain there. They're still in line for a field goal, but didn't make much happen on 3rd down.
No, he didn't. That time Hayes had his single receiver open, though, to the backside. That guy was open. He had man coverage, had the little slant route that he was looking for, but the pressure came, and Hayes had to roll out and get rid of the football, tried to pick up a short gain.
Pass caught by Pierce Meagle. And it looks like Welsh will attempt their first field goal of the game. Should be Trevor Lopez. Lopez, a 3-year starter. He's had numerous games where his punting flipped the field. Now he tries to score our game's first points. It'll be a 35-yard field goal, but it'll have to wait. And they're going to back him up. Wow, penalty on the Greyhounds.
Yeah, I think it's an illegal procedure. It looks like somebody jumped.
Dead ball. False start on the offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Watch number 66, see if we can find him here. He's going to move just a little bit. There he is, the right guard. Just enough, and they called it.
Coach Richardson told us that he can hit 50-yarders in practice, and Lopez typically automatic from 35 on in, but now they backed him up. A 40-yard attempt with Hayes holding. It's got the distance. It's good. So the turnover on special teams that goes in Welsh's favor turns into 3 points for the Greyhounds.
Well, you watch the field goal. You think that the penalty is going to cost them a problem, but this thing would have been good from another 3 yards or so.
I think so. St. Helena will try and answer on offense when we return on CST. A phantom muffed punt leads to 3 points for the Welsh Greyhounds. They'll kick off to St. Helena now. Look at that bone on the sidelines. Both teams trying to draw a little momentum. So Welsh will kick off again. I know if you're St. Helena, you don't want the same result.
Well, if you're St. Helena, you have to say to you guys, look, they got the ball inside the 20. We were able to stop them. They could not move the football, so you have to feel good defensively about that. But you're concerned because you gave up 3 points on a turnover.
Troy Hurst is deep. The last one went through his fingertips, and that'll find him in the end zone. They'll move it out to the 20. Let's go down on the field with our reporter, Jessica Province.
Garrett, thanks so much. Earlier this week, we talked to Welsh head coach John Richardson, and he said he's been dreaming of playing in the Superdome since 9th grade. He was actually the quarterback at Pickering and played under Dell Ashley, and he said now that he's at this point, he doesn't just want to play in the Superdome, he wants to win in the Superdome. So we'll see if the Greyhounds can hold on to this lead.
Thank you, ma'am. He's got a great record overall, 53-11 in 5 seasons over at Welsh. They had their opener canceled due to Hurricane Harvey against Rain, which would have been a nice move up in conference in division and try and come away with a quality win. But they won 7 games in a row to start the season. Only loss to Notre Dame. They're going to air it out. Here's Ricky Travis headed down the sidelines, and the catch is made. Inbounds. No, they're going to mark him out. He came away with the ball.
Yeah, they're going to say he was out of bounds. I think if we get another shot, look at this thing. Let's see if he might have gotten a foot in bounds on that reception.
Troy Hurst tracks this ball out of the hands of Ricky Travis so well. Makes the big-time catch. It would have been a 50-yarder, and that could go either way.
Well, that was close. We'll see if the knee hits out of bounds. Watch his right knee. That's a close call.
That is a close call. Totally got past the defensive back, Zeno. Of course, these referees do not have the benefit of instant replay like we do here in the booth. They'll hand off in the backfield. Trying to turn the corner, and Welsh only gives up a 2-yard gain. Jeremy Griffin is one of those players, Greg, that's really going to have to make a difference in this game with Hurst out. He's going to have to be the guy that uses that senior leadership to try and will them to win.
Well, St. Helena's trying to run the football a little bit, but, you know, they've thrown the ball twice, and both of them have been deep passes, so they think they can get the deep ball, but I think the running game is going to have to come around for them to even get any room to throw the ball.
Now 3rd and 8. They'll hold on to it at the 25 and brought down for minimal gain.
Ricky Travis that time on that zone read, he just, you know, he read the defensive end coming down, kept it, and was able to pick up some yards, but not enough for a first down. 4th down and 3. You know, St. Helena really offensively, they're starting to struggle a little bit here.
Zeno will trot out for Welsh and try and recover this punt. And the Hawks will turn the ball over here.
Duran Zeno's a guy that very athletic, and so that's why they put him back on these punt returns. We'll see if he can make something happen for his team.
Big punt there, Claiborne. And they'll just let this roll inside to the 25-yard line, almost down to the 20. So they'll pin them back, and Welsh will come back out on offense. Do you want more football action? Visit www.lhsca.org for more information on all-star game times and locations. So log online and get all the information you can. Numerous all-star games coming up in the New Orleans area. 51-yard punt by Claiborne, and that backs Welsh up considerably.
Well, you know, when you have a really good punter, that's what they can do for you. You can flip the field on you. And the way St. Helena has been playing defense, they should get the ball back. If they can hold them here for a 3 and out, they should get the ball back in pretty good shape.
Zach Hayes, good baseball player. He's also a 4.0 student. He's got several compelling offers from colleges as well. Fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and picks up 3 yards on first down. He's got offers from Army, McNeese State, and a couple of Southland Conference schools. You know, you always have to ask when it's a quarterback who plays baseball, is he a pitcher? Yes, he's a pitcher, but he's also a very talented athlete. He's a starting center fielder for Welsh as well.
Wow. And, you know, the thing about it is he's one of those pitchers that's rare. He's a lefty.
Yeah. College baseball players that are southpaws certainly will get a look from scouts. Goes over to the far sideline. There's a big-time hit by St. Helena. Pretty good-looking knock by Troy Hurst. You know, Greg, let's talk about it. He's got to be a little conflicted with his family member dealing with that big hit in Faraday, but he comes up and makes a play here.
Yeah, he does what you teach defensive backs to do. If the guy catches the ball in front of you, come up and put a really good hit on him. And Troy Hurst, just an outstanding football player. You look at his stats for the season. He's only got 2 interceptions. He'll be looking for 1 today. See if he can't get him a pick today.
You see it 3rd and 5. Hayes trying to pick up a first down. He's got time to throw to the receiver, who makes a nice stop, pivots, gets some yards after the catch. That's Pierce Meagle. First down for Welsh.
Watch the tight end. He's just going to release out, kind of goes out into the flat. They forget about him out there, and all of a sudden, quarterback finds him, got a first down.
If he looks big, it's because he is. Meagle, 225 pounds, gets the yards after catch and moves the chains. Ball now on the 36-yard line.
Even that time, he lined up at tight end, in tight, and he was able to just kind of slide right down the line of scrimmage. Surprising that St. Helena didn't pick him up.
4 wide, man in motion. The left-hander with a flag flying overthrows his receiver at the 40. We'll get the call from Patrick Foy.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 29, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And that's on Zeno. Jerry Toussaint, Dustin Perkle, and Ray Leak make up our staff, along with Trevor Andre, Vernon Day, and Dilton Anderson.
Well, that time Zeno came in motion across the formation, and he started to go up the field just a little bit too quick. That's why he got the penalty.
Now 1st and 15. They've got a long way to go here after picking up the first down.
Again, this is one of their favorite sets. You see the 3 wide receivers to one side and 1 receiver to the back side. That's to try to get the man coverage and see if you can sneak a tight end underneath there.
Hayes fakes the handoff, goes over the right side, and gets knocked down. Back to about the 30. A season ago, Welsh was undefeated. Ended up losing to Rayville in the playoffs. Zach Hayes, the quarterback. He's put together some big wins, especially this season. They were down to Kinder, 13-0, and then he rallied them to win 20-19. The coaches really challenged him at the half, had 41 throws in that ball game, and brought his team a victory against a talented squad.
Well, he may have to throw the ball a little bit more this ball game because it doesn't look like there's any running room inside at all.
3-man front, and they're getting pressure for St. Helena, but this one's over the middle. Another first down catch by Pierce Meagle.
I think Meagle's going to come up about 2 to 3 yards short of the first down marker. But once again, it's that tight end. You can just slip him out because everybody's worried about the wide receivers. Watch the tight end just slip out and sit down in the middle of the zone. Right in front of the linebackers. Good catch. Good read by the quarterback.
Coach says Meagle's got soft hands. You can see the big frame out there. He came into the game with 40 catches. And that's the end of the first quarter of our 2A state championship game. You see the Welsh Greyhounds running out. They've got an early lead, 3-0. St. Helena will come back, 3rd and 3 coming up. Can they get the Greyhounds off the field when we start the second quarter? The 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic, presented by the New Orleans Saints on Cox Sports Television, is brought to you by Red Zone Fundraising, Louisiana's #1 high school sports fundraising company. We start off the second quarter. Longest play of the game is a 10-yard catch by Pierce Meagle of Welsh. Now 3rd and 3. The offense trying to continue that march forward. And there's a big-time run by Alex Iges. First down for the Greyhounds.
Well, this is just the old power play where you're going to line up and hand it to Iges back there and really watch the 2 blockers in front of him open the hole and pick up the first down. Still got first quarter stats. Total yards. 9 to 51. Not much offense in the first half.
Here's first down from midfield. Another running play by Welsh. Greyhounds are 3-6 on 3rd down early on. St. Helena 0-2. And they've gone to Pierce Meagle on the outside 3 times. He's racked up 21 yards. I wouldn't want to go against the middle of St. Helena either. They've got plenty of beef on the inside.
Have a lot of beef on that inside of defensive line. You want to try to throw the ball around them. Get them tired. Make them run from sideline to sideline. Make the big guys move inside. 78, 79. If you try to run against that, it's going to cause you some problems. Can't make a living doing that.
We're talking about Osiris Torrance and Dravion Hitchin. Lee Burkeen told me they move like they're 250. Very good athletes, and they'll make the play there. Flags fly late. I think he was just short of the first down.
Well, Cyrus Torrance is going to get a personal foul against him there. Just kind of really just not a smart play. I think he just kind of got a little frustrated that time, and they're going to get him with a personal foul after the play.
If so, that'll put him up by the 25.
Personal foul on the defense, number 78. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, watch to the left of your screen. Right at the end of the play, the play's out there. I think Cyrus is getting double-teamed inside. I think it's a little frustrated. And then you to the outside, the man just comes in and pushes him after play.
So instead of 1st and 10 at the 40, they'll move it up to the 28-yard line for Welsh.
Cyrus, he has to be a little smarter than that. Just kind of, the coaches took him out, going to talk to him a little bit, and then he'll be back in there. He won't do that again.
Four wide set, man in the backfield. Hayes pump fakes. He'll go down the field. He lost his quarterback into the end zone. Touchdown, Welsh! Zeno with the first touchdown of the game. 28 yards to the house.
Well, you talk about an unbelievable route. If you watch Zeno run this route, he's going to start to the post and then break it to the corner. The old post corner route gets him every time. And watching, when we show it to you on replay, it's an excellent route, but the quarterback had time to throw the football. And you give Zach Hayes time, he will hurt you deep.
So the junior, Darren Zeno, comes away with the pretty pass into the end zone. And Welsh knocking on the door of 10-0. Trevor Lopez waiting on the extra point. And that's the way to start the start of the second quarter if you're Welsh. Right after the penalty by Osiris Torrance, Zach Hayes makes him pay. Zeno with the 28-yarder into the corner of the end zone here on CST.
One love.
Let's watch what happens when the quarterback and the receiver on the same page. Go ahead and roll it, guys. Now watch the quarterback here. Watch Hayes takes it. See that pump fake right there? Freeze it. The pump fake, when he did that pump fake, he really set that up because the defensive back was looking at the quarterback, bit on the pump fake. Zeno's wide open.
I'll tell you what, he's a senior quarterback, and he's starring today. 6 of 9 for 61 yards for Hayes. Zeno, who plays both ways, back out on the field for special teams.
Yeah, he talked to a lot of young quarterbacks. If you're watching that, see how he moved the defensive back with the pump fake, help your receiver out.
Well, you can see from that scoring drive, 9 plays covering 78 yards, that Welsh is settled in here, and they've got a double-digit lead to start the second quarter. Looks like this is Hurst again from inside the 5. And he'll be brought down. No, still on his feet at the 10. And finally smothered up by the Greyhounds. Thought he was going to break free. I think the momentum has swung to the red and black sideline.
Well, Welsh really they haven't done anything offensively. It's been a penalty and a turnover that set them up for their only scores of the day. And so if you're St. Helena, if you really hurt yourself, if you don't turn the football over on the punt, they're not in position to kick the field goal. And then if you don't get the personal foul, you have them stopped on the other side.
Now the head coach, Brandon Brown, needs his team to go 90 yards to try and get into the end zone. I'll tell you what, though, with Ricky Travis under center, I think they can do a lot of great things. Travis with huge size for this 2A game, 6'3", 210. Dual threat guy, and he loves contact. They'll hand it off here at the line. Fighting hard for yards was Griffin, and he'll get it up to the 15. Coach sometimes has to tell him in practice, hey, dial it back, buddy. I need you this week. We don't have anybody as good as you behind you.
Well, Ricky Travis likes to play with that defensive mentality that he brings to the game. You know, he attacks everything, and that's what a defensive back does. That's what you do on the defensive side. He's got to be a little bit more timid on the offensive side in terms of trying to take on these defenders.
At 6'3", he's a post player on the St. Helena Hoops team. They're over on that right hash mark, and the ball's on the deck. Still on the ground, and Welsh is saying they have it. We'll wait for the official call, but I think the Greyhounds are going to have it inside the red zone, Greg.
Yeah, they do have it. It's just a mistake on the handoff that time. Nobody got hit. They just dropped the football. Let's see if with the confusion, see just the straight handoff. I don't think the running back knew he was getting the ball.
I think they're saying it was 53, Dominic Prudhomme.
Did Prudhomme recover it?
He fell on it there.
Yes, he did.
Battled for it at the bottom of the pile, and the senior, this could be a better angle.
Yeah, you watch Ricky Travis. He's trying to hand it off, and the running back has no idea.
Big play by Josh Pickle to knock the potential guy for St. Helena to recover it out of the way, and coming away with it is Prudhomme. There's teamwork.
This is the third big mistake by the St. Helena team that set up Welsh for scoring opportunity.
Timeout.
That'll prompt a timeout.
That is their first timeout of the half.
By Welsh. They want to make sure and get things right here, putting the offense right back out on the field after they drove nine plays and 78 yards. If you want to get the scoop straight from the head coach, then CST is the place to be. Tune in each week as we bring you the LSU men's and women's basketball head coach radio shows live Monday at 8 p.m. It's the Will Wade Show. And Tuesday at 8, tune in for the Nikki Fargas Show. Both coaches get in-depth about the games and players and answer audience questions. Don't miss it every week, all season long on CST. 15 years and counting. I'll tell you what, Greg, from an LSU standpoint, Will Wade has brought a lot of firepower to the LSU basketball team in a quick amount of time. There's some hype around that program.
There is. The people are excited about it. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's got a couple games before he starts SEC play in January that he can tune up and get ready for the big push in the conference.
Well, Will Wade, Kent Lowe, and the rest of the Tigers packed up for Hawaii and came away with a quality win against the Michigan Wolverines. That got everybody fired up. Plenty of non-conference action still left inside the Maravich Assembly Center for both schools. So St. Helena, they got to have their ears pinned back here. Can't give up anything silly. Here's Iges, the starting interior linebacker. He rushes up to the 10. 4 yards on the gain for Iges.
Well, that St. Helena defense has got to be saying to themselves, you know, we've been on the field most of this first half. They got to get a stop or a turnover here. Give the ball back to your offense.
Welsh, second down, they need 6 yards. They can still get a first down inside the red zone if they get it up to the 4. One safety over the top for the Hawks. Now he comes forward. Here's Iges again. He's up to the 5, still moving down to the 3. 5'11", 180 pounds, and Alec Iges with the big carry right up the gut.
Well, it's just a straight zone handoff, and if you get everybody blocked, you can get some room inside. And Iges did a good job of finding the seam back to the inside.
He has 170 tackles on the year, but in the postseason, he's been running it well. 216 yards of offense and 6 touchdowns in the playoffs. The next carry for Iges will be his 10th. They'll give it to him again, and he'll get wrapped up by those interior tackles of St. Helena. If you can hold them to a field goal here, Greg, that is a big come-up for St. Helena.
Yeah, that's a big win for the defense if you can just keep them to a field goal. I think if you're Welsh, at some point, you're going to have to take your quarterback and let him run with the football. You know, Zach Hayes is a good guy, is a good runner when he's got the ball in his hands, and he makes things happen. So at some point, you're going to have to fake the dive inside and get him outside on the perimeter of the defense.
It'll be second and goal at the 2-yard line, and there's Iges again.
This is that power formation where you get 2 backs ahead of Iges and just sometimes they try to power it inside.
6 men on the line for St. Helena, and Iges can't move them. But you know what? Wherever the ball's spotted, it's going to be inside the 2, close to the 1. Maybe, is this a 4th down? You take it, try and get it into the end zone, because 17-0 puts a lot of pressure on St. Helena.
Well, and St. Helena offensively has not threatened you. So what you want to do, if you don't make it, if you go for it on 4th down and don't make it, you leave them a long way to go with that offense. But I think it's 4-down territory. There's no question. This is where I give it to my quarterback. I got to let him take the football.
Here's the power alignment. 2 men in the backfield. Can they clear the way for Iges? No, it's a keeper by Zach Hayes, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds. What a smart play from inside the 2-yard line for Coach Richardson.
Yeah, at some point you got to put it in your best runner hand, and that's and anytime you look at Zach Hayes, he's really good with the football. He handles it well. Watch the fake here inside. Everybody's going to collapse, and he just pulls it and gets to the corner, and there's nobody out there to stop him.
Huge play for the senior from Welsh. They're up 16-0. Big rushing numbers on the year for Hayes. Scores the touchdown there. It's 17-0 by Welsh. Let's take another look at this pretty run, kind of like a naked bootleg out to the right.
Well, watch to the right of the screen. You see everybody collapses inside on the run, and Zach Hayes just pulls it and goes to the outside. Watch everybody collapse down inside. Everybody trying to stop the running back, and there comes the quarterback around the end.
You're right. You got to respect, I guess. And they'd run him right up the gut, maybe 3-4 plays in a row. Hayes walks in untouched. 5 plays, just 14 yards after the turnover, 2:26 off our game clock. Hayes caps it with a 1-yard touchdown run, and Welsh is up by 3 scores.
Well, you know, if you're Welsh, when you have to be excited, because when you get a short field, you have to take advantage of it, and they've done it both times. When they get a short field, they've put it in the end zone, in this case, and then they kick the field goal earlier.
Well, they made a little bit of change going into the playoffs. Coach Richardson sized up his opponents, and he decided to feature the run game more. They were spread. They'd have 4 wide and threw it a lot this season, as evidenced by Hayes' numbers. But in 4 playoff games, they've averaged 205 rushing yards a contest after just 135 in the regular season. I'd say he made the right choice. Kickoff again. Hurst with the catch at the 8. Boy, he gets up to speed quickly and dives just at the 30-yard line. So St. Helena with good field position now on this drive.
If you're St. Helena coming out, what you want to do is establish something offensively. You want to try to get some points before the half, and I think that's going to be the big thing for them. Can they get any points right before the half and just establish some type of offense?
St. Helena not as good in the red zone in this game as Welsh.
No, Welsh 3 times in the red zone, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That's pretty efficient.
Let's see if the Hawks can get cranked up here. Ball just inside the 30-yard line. Ricky Travis, who's run for over 1,100 yards on the year, looking at a 5-wide set in an empty backfield. Play clock down to 7. Big disparity in total yards for these 2 teams. Trying to get a little yards after the catch, and Welsh is all over him.
All that time, what St. Helena was trying to do was get their receivers one-on-one on the outside, and maybe they can make the first guy miss and pick up a big play.
That was Cyprian, the split end, a 5'8" senior, tackled by Macy Hicks.
And Macy Hicks did a good job of bringing him down in the open field. I mean, if he misses that tackle, you know, you could get a big gain out of that.
Again, 5 wide for the Hawks. Offense averages 31 points a night over the season. They'll run this one up near sideline. Devin Taylor with positive yards.
Same play. This time Devin Taylor was able to make the first guy miss to pick up positive yards. It's going to bring up about a 3rd down and 5, 3rd and 6.
Taylor, great size, 6'2", 215. He's a senior. And Taylor's the leading receiver, 350 yards, 4 touchdown catches on the year. He's at the bottom of your screen. Now 3rd and 5. This is manageable for Travis. Pressure from the 4-man front. Here they come to Travis. Makes a nifty move and gets this pass off and just overthrows his receiver. He had nothing but daylight in front of him.
Ricky Travis, that time he had 2 receivers open down the field. I mean, you watch when the quarterback starts to scramble, you have receivers that just seem to take off and run the go route, and both of them are open.
I believe the pressure there was by 58, John Daigle, the sophomore from the right side of the line. Couldn't quite get his hands on Travis.
Yeah, Jeremy Griffin was running wide open down the sidelines, and then you had another receiver coming across the field that was open, but Travis just couldn't make the completion.
Ball on the 35-yard line. 2 punts today, the average 40.5 yards, and that one's blocked and kicked out of bounds. The Welsh special teams on fleek today. They can't be stopped.
Well, it started with a bad snap. Anytime you snap it, that throws off the timing, and credit to Welsh, they're able to get in there, put some pressure on the punter.
Let's watch closely who got their mitts on it.
See if we can see who it is. Didn't look like he hit it. I think he shanked it. I thought was going to block it. I think it's Igaz that's coming through. right there. Looks like he might. No, I think he got a hand on it.
No, that's unbelievable. What a turn of events for Welsh. -4 yards on the punt, as you see sterling camera work for our sideline operator. So here's Hayes trying to make him pay once again. Into the flat, brought down hard at the 10. Big time catch for 21 yards. That might have knocked the breath out of him, but they're moving the chains. That's Pierce Meagle down with the first down. We'll step aside, but when we come back, it'll be the Greyhounds back deep inside the red zone, looking to make this a 4-score game. Safety Pierce Meagle down on the field here at the 10-yard line. He made a 21-yard catch and came down hard. I think it was his right shoulder, Greg. Maybe we have a chance to see it.
It looks like it's his right shoulder, and all of his weight came down on the right side, and hopefully he's okay.
Meagle having a great day to get our 2A game started. That was his 4th catch of the game, 42 yards. We're happy that young man has set up. That's his head coach at the top of your screen in the black sweater, John Richardson, whose team has gotten off to a fast start here in the Crescent City, 17-0, leading the 6th seed St. Helena Hawks.
And if you see St. Helena, it's been all just mistakes that have really put you in a hole, and Welsh has taken advantage of it by not being able to.
Standing ovation as Pierce Meagle gets up and is ready to walk off the field. Let's go down onto the sidelines with Jessica.
Well, Garrett, one of the things that Coach Richardson mentioned to us was this tight-knit group as a team this year, and he said that's what makes this team unique, and I think that one of the things that even takes that to another level is the team gathered around kneeling, praying for Pierce as he is now up walking off the field. Garrett.
Thank you very much. So Meagle, slow to come off the field. His team, though, in great position, and you talked about Welsh taking advantage. Zach Hayes has done just that.
Zach Hayes has done that. I mean, you look at what he's done. He's 7 of 10 for 82 yards and a touchdown. He's thrown for a touchdown. He's run for a touchdown. So far, an outstanding first half. Meagle, 4 receptions, 42 yards.
After a jarring hit like that, if you get a chance to see the player, the most important thing, are they having a conversation with somebody? It looks like Meagle's going to be okay. Right now, talking with one of the athletic staff for the Greyhounds. A little tackle for loss. They back him up.
Meagle came down on his shoulder, but I think his head hit the turf as well, and that may be where the concern is.
Loss of 3 on the play. Hayes trying to get him to move forward. It'll be 2nd and 10. Make it 2nd and 13. You see they're talking with one of their senior leaders, a strong safety, as well as a key offensive piece, Pierce Meagle.
Let's see if Zach Hayes doesn't like to go maybe some play action and try to get someone in the middle of his defense on the pass.
So Mark Jackson, bottom of your screen, but flags fly.
Dead ball, false start. On the offense, number 52, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
That'll be 2nd and goal from the 18 now.
Well, now if you're Welsh, you got to say, hey, wait a minute, get control of things again. You're going the wrong way. I mean, you look at the penalties, 2 penalties for 20 yards for St. Helena, and Welsh 3 for 15. But Welsh has gotten all the breaks. They got the good field position with turnovers.
Looking to score their 3rd touchdown of the game. Ball on the 18-yard line. Jackson at the bottom of your screen. 4 wide set. I guess in the backfield. There's some good pressure on Hayes, and he'll throw it away at the feet of his line. Big-time pressure by St. Helena.
Well, Zach Hayes was trying to set up the screen to Igas that time.
The big man, Brant Muse, came from the end, 275 pounds, and that'll back him up even longer.
Well, Brant Muse, he's going to do a good job of pressuring, but right now he's looking for the screen pass. It's not there. And Zach Hayes, a veteran quarterback, just simply throws it down to the turf at the foot of his running back and didn't take the loss.
The entire defensive line for St. Helena, all juniors. They'll all be back next year wreaking havoc. Hayes had completed his previous 6 passes. He's back in the winning ways to Zeno. Zeno sheds a blocker.
It's a good job defensively of people just running to the ball. Wisesino, he's lined out to the right. He's just going to come back inside. A little easy pass. But I tell you what, if he can break a tackle or two, he had a chance to pick up some really big yards.
Well, it's 4th and goal from the 13, and the kicker, Trevor Lopez, has already put through a 40-yarder for Welsh.
I think Welsh is thinking, let's see if we can't punch him in the end zone.
I think you're right. So 4th and 13. St. Helena needs a huge stop here.
I think Welsh is going to take a timeout. They wanted to see what the lineup looked like, and they take a timeout.
Welsh.
I like that. You don't bring them forward with you to the second half. Just 3:19 remaining here in a very quick-moving second quarter.
Unless you have a very special play, I think you go kick the field goal.
CST brings you great coverage of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Tune in each week during basketball season for Mic'd Up with Mike Anderson, for interviews with the head basketball coach as well as student-athletes, coaches, and staff members. Catch it next Tuesday at 9 p.m. And don't forget to catch the latest episode of Hog Tales. Visit CoxSportsTV.com for air dates and times. Well, it's a brand new day in Fayetteville. We've got a brand new coach in Chad Morris. Comes over from SMU. Unbelievable offense down there. They're not quite the Pony Express.
No,
but they're going to the air like nobody else in their conference.
The SEC football is going to be interesting next year, especially in the West. It's quite a change of coaches.
Quite a few coaches with crystal footballs on their resume.
Yeah. You know, there are only 4 college coaches, active college coaches, that have a national championship on their resume.
And now a couple of them in the West.
And 2 of them are not only in the SEC, they're in the SEC West.
Man. So the field goal coming. This one should be lined up for 30 yards for Lopez, who's been a 3-year starter for Coach Richardson.
If I'm St. Helena, I just got to be alert here for maybe a possible fake or something.
Oh, a bad snap. And it's Hayes, the holder, who will throw it. Nobody has broken long to get away, but it ends up in the hands, into the end zone of Alatigas. Touchdown, Welsh! He was slow to break away from his blocker, but finally got open in the end zone, and a busted play turns into 6 for Welsh.
Boy, if you're St. Helena, you just can't, you can't get a break. They get a bad snap on the field goal. You watch him rush the field, rush it right here. They're going to put the rush on you. Almost got the quarterback. Everybody's covered, and he just throws it up for grabs, and his man comes down with it.
Unbelievable. A 13-yard touchdown pass, his second of the game on a busted play.
Yeah, Alatigas just runs to the open spot and stands there and finds the football.
With the touchdown, now they'll take the extra point. There's a good hold, and the kick is through. It's 24-0 against St. Helena. Greg, this never happens. How did they make this play come to fruition?
Well, you have a call. Once there's a bad snap, there's some people use fire. That tells the receivers they've got to release and go into the end zone because something bad's happened. And Igas does a good job of settling in the hole in the zone and making the catch. Watch this ball's just thrown up, and you hope that your guy can come down with it.
Right over the top of a 6'2 defender. That's just been the breaks for St. Helena today, and Igas has a touchdown as we approach the end of the first half.
The ball barely cleared the defender, and I think if it's anybody other than a quarterback that's the holder, I don't think he can make that throw.
You're right. So Fortune smiling on Welsh here in the first half. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. For St. Helena, they could use a little pep going into the locker room. Maybe Troy Hurst, who will return this kickoff, can break something free.
St. Helena just not able to get any offense going. They've really hurt themselves, and maybe you can do it on special teams. At least get a good return and give your offense decent field position.
Here's Lopez, who's factored heavily here in the game early on. Gets a good boot into this one. And that'll be caught at the 1. Here's Hurst. Doesn't have a wedge of blockers in front of him, and he's just chased outside inside the 15-yard line. Excellent kickoff there by Lopez. Hurst didn't have much to do with it.
That's good coverage by Welsh. The kick team just coming down and covering it really well, not allowing Hurst any room at all. You can hold him inside the 20-yard line. That's really remarkable, and that's what you want from a kickoff coverage team. Here they held him at the 15-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, Troy, related to Aaron Hurst, who suffered a neck injury in their last game against Faraday. I think the entire team is thinking a lot about their teammate right now, and that may have accounted for their slow start. See if they can get things cranked up here over the final 30 minutes of the ballgame. Travis calls the wide out back behind him. They'll hand off, take a look at the defense. Trying to turn the corner as Hurst stays on his feet and pushed out of bounds.
St. Helena just had a bunch of errors. I mean, you take a look at the mistakes they had. They had a muffed punt that resulted in a field goal. They had a fumble and gave up a touchdown on the short field. And then you get a shanked punt. Again, they got a short field. It's just one of those things that you just can't script it. I mean, you don't know what to tell them how to overcome this.
Now looking at 2nd and 5, Travis looks like he had a receiver running a post, and this one's doinked into the ground at the 30-yard line. Maybe some miscommunication there. Should have put a little more air under it.
Well, I think what happened that time, he had a receiver running down the sideline and another one coming across on a post route. And I think he started to go to the post and then changed his mind, and the ball slipped out of his hand.
Well, I'm sure Coach Richardson's happy that he tried to go for the field goal, ended up with a touchdown anyway. Now 3rd and 5, St. Helena, as we go under 3 minutes in the second quarter. A 4-man front. Here comes the pressure by Welsh. Travis keeps it himself, runs over defender, and the ball's loose. If he's not down, that's Welsh football, and it is.
I got another turnover, another mistake.
Third turnover of the game, Greg.
Ricky Travis just trying to make a play here. I mean, he's got the first down. He's doing a good job inside. Right there, he breaks one tackle. Now you've got the first down. You got to know you got to hang on to that football.
It was Austin Benoit's helmet that knocked the ball loose.
Saw Benoit that time put his helmet right on the football. If you're Welsh, I'm not sure you could script a better first half.
I don't know if there's much to critique either. I mean, they're getting first downs. They're converting third downs.
Well, they have a short field every time. They're operating on one end of the field, on the positive end of the football field, and it leaves your whole playbook open to you.
Travis, make this. Hayes will try and keep it himself and scampers off the far sideline for a first down.
I think you have a little fatigue starting to set in on the defense here. Watch Zach Hayes. He just bounces to the outside and then outruns a couple of people to the corner. Pick up a first down.
11 yards on the scamper by Hayes, the senior starter. Hayes came into the game with 111 yards rushing on the year, but he'd only run 12 times. He's averaging a first down. And they'll stop him shy of moving the sticks this time.
Oh, we got a flag on the play. I think they may get Welsh for a holding call.
We'll wait on the call from the official.
Holding on the offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Welsh is certainly in great position to take home their first state championship. They made the Prep Classic in 1992. They had an awesome run to the Dome. They beat Manny, Mighty Haynesville, Port Bar, and Pickering. They ended up falling to Port Barry, and they fell to Coushatta, who had upset Kentwood to make the Prep Classic. Now, 25 years later, the Hounds are back. Greg, they're pretty close to making history.
They are pretty close, and you know what? They didn't have they weren't really showed a lot of nerves early on. They were very calm and very confident in what they wanted to do. Won the toss and took the football first, put their offense out there, and now they've got a huge lead.
Ball on the 26-yard line. There's a quick pickup by the Greyhounds. Minimal gain, though. That's Benoit again. Called his name a couple of times tonight.
Yep, well played, though. You come out there, you get a little dunk pass, and the defender comes up. You've got to make a tackle.
Benoit, the junior. Hayes is completing over 70% of his passes. And everything's going right for that man, John Richardson. We'll go 2 wide, top of your screen. Kind of a loaded backfield for Welsh, but I think it's a passing play. Over the middle, into the end zone. 16 yards on the score. Zeno with his second touchdown catch of the game.
Well, Zeno came out just a little post route right behind the linebackers and wide up for the touchdown. As you watch the play unfold, what gets him, you see the play fake right there. That makes the linebacker step up, and he can't get back underneath that throw.
Zeno loses his defender in traffic. And now a huge lead for Welsh, now 30-0 over St. Helena. Lopez just got that one away. Hurst had a chance to block it, but it's 31-0. The numbers for Zach Hayes, they're getting ridiculous.
Zach Hayes, 11 of 15, 126 yards. And you see him move over, you see him draw the linebacker up. Gets his second touchdown pass of the day already. He's got 3 touchdowns. And we're still in the first half.
So Zeno walks in. And with 1:42 remaining, St. Helena's got to find an answer.
Yeah, and that's Zeno's second touchdown reception of the first half.
Lieber Keane told us that it was going to be his coming out party. 2 touchdowns in the first half. 3 plays, 27 yards, just a minute and a second off the clock for Welsh.
It's 31-0, but if you're St. Helena, if you can get something going here, remember, you get the football to start the second half, but you've got to get some offensive going. Something good has to happen to you in this first half.
Zeno on special teams. St. Helena has been pinned back deep by the kicker for Welsh, Trevor Lopez. The senior has done his job today. They'll put this ball in the hands of Troy Hurst. There you see the head coach, Brandon Brown. Let's see what they've got dialed up here. This one will be playable. Hurst at the 6. You see him sprinting straight ahead past the 30, and he'll be brought down. Maybe the best field position of the day for the Hawks. They've got just over a minute and a half to try and get it in the end zone.
You just got to get something going offensively. I think you don't want to press the football. I don't think you want to throw the football very much, because if you do that and turn it over, you give Welsh a chance to score again right before the half.
St. Helena played for their first state title in 2004. That's back when Alden Foster was the head coach. He's now the head man at A Meet, formerly at A Meet, head man at East St. John. Hawks beat Mamu in the semifinals, won 12-6. It's interesting, that's the exact same score from last week's semifinal win over Faraday. Now here's the run up to the 35-yard line, and the clock is ticking.
Yeah, that time St. Helena came out. They just put Hurst in the backfield, a direct snap, and I think what that's an indication of, they want to try to settle down their quarterback a little bit and get some kind of rhythm, and you don't want to turn the football over. They can't risk turning the ball over by throwing it.
Well, that's not the first time this year that Hurst is lined up at quarterback. He's also a wide receiver, and Coach said he might be a running back more than anything else. Looks like Hurst is in a little bit of pain there on the sideline.
Well, Ricky Travers is back in the football game. This may be a delayed game. Now, I think they had 12 in the huddle.
Substitution infraction on the offense, 12 on the field, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Turnovers, penalties, you name it. It's plagued St. Helena here in the first half. Got to get something positive going. This is just their 15th play on offense coming up. We got a minute and a half, a minute remaining.
I think you're going to see St. Helena just run the football right here. 2nd and 11, run the ball 50 seconds. See if you can't just get to halftime and maybe do something, regroup at halftime.
They'll run it up to the original line of scrimmage. I think you're right. Put this thing out of sight, out of mind, and start fresh.
Yeah, you just go in at halftime and you tell your team, listen, we couldn't have had a worse first half. Everything bad has already happened. Let's just forget about that one and come back and take the opening drive and get 6 points out of it.
So Travis, the senior quarterback for St. Helena. Under center one more time as the clock ticks to a close here in the first half. Gives it to the fullback, bounces outside, little room to run. He'll be brought down inside the 40. And that'll be the end of the first half. 3 turnovers for St. Helena, 4 touchdowns for the Welsh Greyhounds, and their fans are in full throat here inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. A 31-0 lead for Welsh. I guess is kind of getting helped off the field. Don't know if he took a solid lick or not. He plays both ways for the Greyhounds. Plenty of Iron Men on this team. His team with a solid 4 touchdown and a field goal lead here in the 2A championship game. Would you believe it? This is the 70th year they will crown a 2A champion for the LHSAA. First team that won the 2A title back in 1937, Bird High, Shreveport, Louisiana. The team's getting ready, the band's getting ready to take the field here at the half. Now let's go down to Jessica.
Garrett, thanks so much. Coach, the gates have opened. Zach Hayes able to connect with several receivers. What was the change of pace in the last 10 minutes or so?
Well, we just got some momentum. You know, they had some turnovers, a block punt, and we were able to make some plays to get momentum, and that's so big in high school football. We got the momentum. We played a great first half. We just got to go out and play a great second half.
Holding St. Helena to scoreless, how would you assess what your defense has been able to do?
They're doing a great job right now. I mean, you know, we got beat over the top a couple times. We got to get that fixed. We were fortunate they didn't complete them, but we're really bottling up the run right now, gang tackling. We got to continue that second half.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck. Garrett.
Couldn't get a smile out of him. His team's up by 4 touchdowns.
On the verge of possibly winning his first state championship, and he still looks like he's losing.
Gotta love it. We'll have halftime festivities here in the Dome when we return.
Welcome back to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for the LHSAA Prep Classic. We're in the 2A division right now, and the Welsh Greyhounds are leading the St. Helena Hawks 31-0. But it's not just about X's and O's, although today on the field it is, but we're also joined by their principals. I have Dr. Jennifer Grace of St. Helena, and I have Chris of Welsh. I'm going to start with Dr. Grace. Dr. Grace, how long have you been at St. Helena?
I've been in St. Helena for 4 years. This is my first year as principal there.
Well, first year. Okay, so tell me a little bit about that adjustment. What was it like going from just being a part of the community to now almost running the community?
It's been a very smooth adjustment. The community's been super supportive and welcoming of me, and we are having an awesome school year, and we're proud of it.
Now, we've had a chance to get to know Coach Brandon Brown. He seems like an incredible guy. He's in his 5th season here. Can you elaborate on what he's done with the program there?
Yes. He has rebuilt the program from scratch. He has the vision brick by brick, and he saw this day 5 years ago, and he has stayed the course, and we are so super proud of him. He really is an amazing guy.
Now, he's mentioned the community. He says it's the #1 fan base. Tell us a little bit about the fan base and what makes it so special.
We are one big loving family. The community comes out and support the kids with everything that they do, anything that we need. It's just been an amazing experience that I haven't had before. So.
Now, I believe I heard that some people actually came together and bought the guys' ties. Do you know that? Yeah. Okay, can you elaborate on that story for me? They wanted them to look nice coming to the Superdome.
Yeah, that's one of the situations where our community comes out and supports our kids. So they bought the students' ties. They wanted to show solidarity, and they wanted the guys to know that, hey, we're behind you all, and we're with you. And this is our way of saying we are with you.
Now, we're talking about football now, but that's not the only program you have. What are some other programs that you guys offer that make St. Helena unique?
We're very proud that we have our Talented in Art program. We have an award-winning band that you're hearing in the background right now, 13 national awards, a wonderful expanding advanced placement and dual enrollment program. We are a college and career academy, and we've just been granted our reaccreditation through Advanced Ed, so we're proud of that as well.
Well, congratulations on all your success, and thank you for joining me down here. We're going to switch gears now to Welsh Greyhounds. I have Chris Humble here. Chris, now you are also in your first year as principal, but you've been at Welsh for 19 years. What keeps you staying in the Welsh community?
We were looking for, as an ag teacher, I was looking for a place to do some student teaching. Welsh was really the only place within driving distance from where I lived, and I've never left. I taught ag for 11 years. In 2011, I became an administrator, and my plan is to not go anywhere else either.
Now, what's it like as first-year principal? Y'all traveled really well today. Your fan base has been incredible, and I hear all about your community and how tight-knit it is.
What's special about Welsh is on display here, on the field and in the bleachers. Our 1,500 tickets went in 4 hours. We're an A school in an A district. We have A fans, we have A players, we have A students, and A community. Our community is not special in spite of everybody else. It's special in addition to everyone else. I mean, for me, there's no place like it. They took me in 19 years ago, and I feel like I live there now.
Now, you mentioned the 92 and 89 teams, I believe, if that's the correct years, but you mentioned this has been in the works since 1992. What has Coach Richardson done?
What's good for us, these players have been playing together for a long time. There's fathers and grandparents and mothers and grandmothers and aunts and uncles who have been supporting them since then. This is not this team versus the 1992 team. This has just been a culmination of all those years and hunger for a championship.
Well, thank you for being here, and congratulations on getting to this point.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's take a listen in on the St. Helena Band, but next we'll have more halftime and stats and highlights coming up for you. Keep it right here.
Halftime at the Prep Classic, the 2A championship game. Two teams looking for their first state title, and it looks like Welsh has taken a nice first step towards claiming that first crown. They're up 31-0. We're joined now in the press box by Lee Burkeen of Louisiana Football Magazine and TV. Lee, thanks for joining us today. Welsh has had a lot more to talk about recruit-wise in this game. We've seen Darren Zeno, Zach Hayes, but both these teams are loaded with prospects.
Well, speaking of Welsh, Pierce Miguel is one of the best players. I think he's the best fullback in the state. I've said all year long, these guys don't get a lot of love. They're not like the sexy position that you recruit, but fullbacks are needed, and LSU uses fullbacks. I think he's LSU good. He's 6 foot, 225, great hands. You saw that today. Hope he'll be okay, come back. Zach Hayes, baseball prospect, going to McNeese.
Ooh, big time.
Great quarterback in high school. And Darren Zeno, I'd mentioned before the show, said this guy is a junior. He's going to get some plays in this game. He's a big-time player, too.
Took a couple of touchdowns and really made it look easy, and he's got Welsh up 31-0.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about St. Helena. I mean, these guys, they've got a great offense that averages better than 30 points a game, but they've been a little bottled up today.
Yeah, how can you not want to recruit a guy by the name of Osiris? Osiris Torrance is a great big guy. I mean, I don't see many guys 350 that move like this. I know your buddy Marlon Favorite couldn't move like that, and he was pretty good. But 6'5", 350, plays a whole game. He's a junior. I know LSU will probably offer him soon. But the other nose guard, Knight, he's 375, 370. And they got a third 280. I mean, that's a great D-line. Now, the quarterback, Ricky Travis, not having a good game tonight so far, but I think he's a D1 player, too.
I do, too, and the numbers on him are just outstanding, whether he's a quarterback or maybe something different projecting on Saturdays.
Built like a Steve McNair, a big guy. I know LSU's recruiting those 6'3", 220s all over the country. There's one right in Louisiana, right here at St. Helena.
For all the fans who are crazy about recruiting just like you, how do they get more information?
Go to lafootballmagazine.com and just check us out. We have an article on a recruit in the state from all over, like Welsh and Kinder and all those little Lake Charles schools all over the state of Louisiana, actually. So
I'm excited for our game coming up after this one. De La Salle University, talk about loaded with recruits.
I'll tell you what, if you don't know who Julian Gums is, you do, and I do, but he's going to make a name for himself. He's one of the greatest. I think he's one of the top 3 players in the state. He's a running back, but he's playing quarterback, as you know. He's 5'11", 220. He can run. He's a great football player. I think he's a big-time SEC running back. And he's the reason it's going to be tough for, I know we're going to talk about U-High. Who do we start with? 9 D1 players.
Unbelievable. 7
on offense. So I know De La Salle, the coach, Manali, he wants to play keep away, drain that clock with Gums. And U-High's fears they won't get the ball enough.
Yeah, don't get it to Mike Hollins enough, who's an outstanding running back.
Incredible running back. And Micah Tongue is a junior receiver. His daddy played in the NFL and with the Saints, Reggie Tongue. 6'3", 220, and on the other side, 6'3", 230. Wide receiver, not tight ends. Wide receiver. They're both juniors. And John Gordon McKernan, a good quarterback, right. D1, he's a junior.
We can't wait. That's just a little preview of what's to come. We've got more halftime rolling here in the building. We'll have stats, highlights, and more on the field. You're watching the 2A State Championship here at the Classic in the Louisiana Superdome. 31-0, Welsh leads St. Helena after 2 quarters of football. Halftime rolls on here in the Louisiana Superdome. Garrett Walvert and Greg Bowser high above with you. Thanks for joining us for today's broadcast. Remember, 2 more championship games to come, Division II and 3A. That will be our nightcap. Let's take a look back at the first 2 quarters of action here for St. Helena. It really kind of got stuck in the mud. They couldn't get much going, and Welsh, they've blown the doors off.
Yeah, they have. Welsh has taken advantage of what St. Helena has given them, and St. Helena has given them a lot. Just turning the football over, giving them a short field, and credit this Welsh offense though. They were able to put it in the end zone, and that's what you've got to do when you get a short field. Make them pay for it by getting 6.
3 passing touchdowns for Zach Hayes. They've got 4 total in the ball game plus a field goal. They enjoy that 31-0 lead. Let's take a look at our first half highlights with Greg.
Well, I'll tell you, he got started with a muff punt, and then all of a sudden, somehow Welsh got the football back and they settled for a field goal. So St. Helena was, didn't hurt them too bad. They only gave up 3 points. But then when you turn around and you come back and all of a sudden you get this from the quarterback. Zeno, the wide receiver, great move to the inside and then reach to the corner for a touchdown. And then St. Helena, again, fumble the football on their own end of the football field, come back, and it's the quarterback. Mr. Zach Hayes takes it in for a touchdown, and then Zach Hayes again, he's the holder. A bad snap, what does he do? Pick it up and just throw it up in the air, and guess who's there? 44. I guess brings it in for the touchdown, and then one more touchdown to number 29, Zeno. Again, he had 2 touchdown receptions in the first half. Outstanding first half offensively. You've got to keep the pressure on. If you're St. Helena, you got to figure out a way to come back. You look at the stats here. St. Helena has not done very much with the football.
9 first downs for Welsh to none for St. Helena. The rushing yards about even. The passing yards are out of this world for the Greyhounds. Just 5 for the Hawks. They've got to get the passing game moving. 180 total yards and 16 minutes time of possession for the Greyhounds.
And the big one, 3 turnovers for St. Helena. And you can't turn the football over, but when you turn it over on your own end of the field, it really causes problems for you. And, Welsh has done a good job of taking advantage of it. Quick stats, St. Helena, the longest play was 7 yards. And you look on the other side, Welsh has 11 plays of 7 yards or more. That's the way you play football in the first half.
Very telling. We've got more coming up next here in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. We'll take a quick break, and halftime will roll on. St. Helena trying to get back into it. They'll have the football, and we'll kick off a little bit after this on CST. The 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by the New Orleans Saints on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Red Zone Fundraising, Louisiana's #1 high school sports fundraising company. It's halftime here, 31-0 Welsh, and we are awarding our academic all-conference players, Welsh with 3 players for their academic pursuits being honored at halftime here. That's number 15, Zach Hayes, the quarterback, along with Dominic Prudhomme and Dylan Hughes. The all-academic awards are presented by ISC. Big smiles on their faces. Guarantee you, Greg, those guys manage their time well and work hard.
Outstanding effort on their part. Class 2A, all-academic guys. To be able to balance everything in life today with athletics and then academics, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Well, I'll tell you what, we touched on it before the broadcast started. Dayron Zeno, the wideout, Mr. Everything for the Welsh Greyhounds, has really put his name all over this game.
Oh, he really has. He's played on defensive side. He's made key tackles. We see him there. But I think the offensive abilities of this young man is outstanding. Ran a terrific route to get open for his quarterback and catch a touchdown. Just a tremendous football player.
Still just a junior. 90 catches for 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns in the regular season. He actually led the state in catches going into the playoffs. Literally the best hands that his coach has ever seen, and that's high praise.
Yeah, he's got really good hands. I watched some tape on him, and what I really liked about him is I liked him defensively much better than I did offensively. Had good feet, good movement in the feet. His hips were really quick. The things that you look for a defensive back, he had them all. And then I watch him hit today, and he's got 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns already on 4 receptions for 60 yards. So an outstanding football player, and he's got another year. So he can't do anything but get better.
Any coach in the country would take 15 yards per catch. I can do that math. And that young man, what's he going to have on tap for the second half? St. Helena's going to have to find a way to slow down the passing attack. And Zach Hayes, how can they do that? Let's go down to Jessica first and get an update on the field.
Garrett, thanks so much. Joined out by Coach Brown. Coach Brown, you mentioned turnovers and not wanting to have them, but it's been the name of the game for you. What adjustments are you looking to make in the second half?
Well, that's it. We cannot turn over the football anymore. We must protect the football. We got to eliminate the big plays on defense. Other than that, I think our defense has played well, but offensively, we got to get it going.
What was your message to your team in the locker room?
Let's go finish. Let's finish. That's it. Let's finish. Let's finish the football game. We scored 50 points in a half, and we're trying to go do it right now.
Best of luck, Coach. Thank you. Garrett.
I like that. We've scored 50 points in a half. Let's go do it again.
Yeah, I like the attitude. I mean, you got to come out and you got to tell them at halftime, listen, we had a bad first half. They got 31 points, but we get the ball first. Let's start with the first drive, the first possession. If they can take this first possession and score a touchdown, I think then you got a chance of turning things around. The worst thing could happen to you if you're St. Helena is to come out and go 3 and out or a turnover, and it's going to create more problems for you.
Well, there's certainly been a big come-up around St. Helena. Coach Brown took the reins there in 2013. The Hawks won just 5 games over his first 2 seasons, but they had some smaller senior classes. He was able to play some young guys. And then they won 2 playoff games in 2015, and they have been red hot ever since. They made the state semifinals behind a defense that notched 9 shutouts, Greg. Unfortunately, they ran into Madison Prep in their final game a year ago, but this is a team that has gotten better and better every year.
They have, and I think they may have just come out with a little nerves, maybe because of the injured player on their team, not quite focused as you'd like them to be, and that's why you saw the mental errors that occurred, the muff punt, the fumble, the turnovers. I think that is what added to it.
We see Alec Igas, who was a little slow coming off the field to end the first half. He's got the helmet on. You would expect that he would be back into the ballgame. The 5'11", 180-pound junior caught a touchdown pass on a broken play. It was an attempted field goal. There was a bad snap. Luckily, his quarterback was the holder and found him at the front of the end zone.
Well, the thing about Igas, you talk about his offensive problems, but remember, he plays on the other side of the football as well.
Troy Hurst has been averaging 15 to 20 yards on each of these kickoff returns. He's had plenty of opportunities to break one today because Welsh keeps finding the end zone. He'll move this one up to about the 25-yard line, and St. Helena will take the ball to start our second half.
Well, let's see what St. Helena does offensively now. See if they change anything, if they try to get some momentum going, establish something inside, maybe running the football. It's a low-risk offense. Just try to hand it off, see if you can't pick up some positive yards.
Here's Ricky Travis, the 10-2A MVP last season. He's also a Grambling State commit. Grambling.
I think they've got Hurst at quarterback.
And
Travis
now Hurst will have it. He's got himself a nice little run, and they bring him down by his shoestrings. Otherwise, he's off to the races.
You watch Hurst. He takes the direct snap. He's just a running back now, so you got to find a hole. He starts out one way. See, he's going to move to his left. It's a trap play designed to go outside. He just uses the building, cut back, and finds the open hole.
15 yards on the run, their longest play of the game. Some good blocking there in the middle by Muse and Hitchin. They'll run hard again, this time off the right side. They sealed the edge for him, kind of looked like John Curtis. Just running off either the left or the right side. They get positive yards again.
Well, we'll see if St. Helena continues to run this offense and see what happens. But if you're Welsh, you got to bring everybody to the line of scrimmage. You don't think Hurst is not going to throw the football.
Travis remains on the sidelines, the starting quarterback. I think they're going to ride with Hurst for right now. Coach told us he might be more of a running back than anything else. 2 men in the backfield. Max protect on the line. Looks for the receiver that broke free from the line. A juggling catch, and he made it! Unbelievable catch. Longest passing play of the game, and Devin Taylor corraled that one in.
Well, for all I know, he's not going to throw the football. What does he do? He comes out, he throws the football down the field. Hurst this time just stands there and throws it as far as he can, and the receiver makes an unbelievable catch on the ball. Big play on the ball.
32 yards on the pickup, and they are knocking on the door of the red zone. Best field position of the day for the Hawks.
Well, they bring Ricky Travis back in the quarterback now.
2 wide, top of your screen. They'll hand this one off, and they're inside the red zone. And there is momentum building. People are on their feet in black and gold across the Superdome from us.
Well, this is what you had to do. Come out with the first drive, get some momentum going. Let's see if you can finish. You're inside the 20. You've got to put it in the end zone for 6. 3 points, it doesn't really help you. You got to get 6.
That was a fantastic catch 2 plays ago by Taylor, who's 6'2", 215 in his senior season. Here's a keeper around the corner, up to the 5-yard line. Travis, and they are pumped up on that sideline.
They are. Now watch Ricky Travis on his zone. It's a zone read. He's reading the end coming down there in the inside. He doesn't take it. He sees the hole and just uses his athletic ability and gets out there, picks up 12 yards.
Good decision. Pulls it back from his tailback, Jeremy Griffin, the 5'5" senior, and he went over the right end. Now 1st and goal at the 6. Plenty of room to run on the near sideline. They'll go Griffin this time. He escapes 1 tackle, but not that one. Brought down hard by guess who? Yep. Darren Zeno.
Watch Darren Zeno close on the football. That's, defensively, you watch a guy close on it. Watch how quickly he closes on that football. Right there, all of a sudden he shows up and makes a solid tackle.
Griffin goes about 175 pounds running the rock. Zeno took advantage of the size there. So now 2nd and 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted another look with Hurst in there.
Well, Hurst is in there now. He's in the game. They're going to see if they can't run that play.
He's got a lead blocker. He's inside the 5, down to the 1. Boy, he is instant offense, Greg.
Well, I think you almost have to just leave him in there, man. He's doing so well. This is what you see a lot of colleges go through. They call it their wildcat, their wild whatever, and it's where it's a direct snap to the best runner on the team.
Looks like they're going to go power off the right side. He'll take it himself. Bulldozes into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Helena. It'll be number 9, Troy Hurst, who lost his helmet, but they're on the board here in the 3rd quarter. There is a flag in the end zone.
Oh, it says this is just the power. You get inside and just try to find a crease. Now watch what happens. Offensive lineman come and hit him from the backside and push him in. I think this is going to go against the defense. It may be a holding call against the defense. And
the touchdown is good. After the play, personal foul, number 12 of the defense. This penalty be assessed on succeeding kickoff.
Saw number 52, Garen Abair, the sophomore lineman, trying to clear the way for his quarterback/running back, Troy Hurst. Helped him get into the end zone. So they'll go for 2. He'll roll out. Catch is made, and he's in the end zone. 2 high-profile plays for the St. Helena Hawks, and their side's fired up.
Ricky Travis that time did a good job of coming out and going for the 2 points. Now watch the touchdown. It's just a big wad here. And now just stay alive and work your way into the end zone. And then on the 2-point conversion, just roll out, find the open man and dump it. That's 8-31. If you St. Helena, there's life.
St. Helena on the board, and the Hawks with a nice touchdown drive keyed by Troy Hurst. The 2-point conversion was caught by that man, the strong safety, Demetrius Brown. Hurst with the high 5 on the sidelines. 8 plays, 75 yards, just under 3 minutes off the clock. Hurst with the 1-yard touchdown plunge. And like Greg said, that's new life for them. That first half is in the books. You can't do anything about it. It's history. Now all you can do is try and climb the stairs.
Well, and part of climbing the stairs could happen right here on the kickoff. You had a 15-yard penalty, so you're going to be kicking from the 45-yard line, from the plus 45. So you can do an onside kick if you want to, or just kick in the end zone, not get a return. But there's a chance to maybe try to get the ball back.
Here's the true freshman, Corey LeBlanc. LeBlanc puts a boot into this one. It'll be knocked down. And that'll be good field position for Welsh. Maybe lucky that one fell off his hands, went into the end zone for the instant touchback.
Yeah, if you're Welsh, that's the best thing that could happen. If you're St. Helena, you didn't really get a chance to take advantage of the short field.
First half of the ball game didn't go St. Helena's way, Greg.
No, you look at it, 42 yards. The last drive, 75. So 42 yards in the first half, and you got almost double that on the first drive of the second half.
So new life for Coach Brown. 35 and 24 in his seasons at St. Helena. He's also the athletic director for the Hawks. They went 6-1 in District 8 2A this season. Now his team's back out on defense. They got to find a way to slow down the passing attack, and Zach Hayes. Here's Alex Iges. Should have been taken down at the 20. Ball comes loose. I think they're going to say Iges was down.
Yeah, they're going to rule him down, so Welsh will maintain possession of the ball. So if we can take a look at it and watch the handoff. Watch his knee. See if his knee goes down.
Knees down, yep.
Good call. Welsh maintains possession, but if you're St. Helena, if you could get a stop right here on 2nd and 7, boy, you still got that momentum going. But you can't let Zach Hayes get outside and complete something on you.
The handoff to Iges. Keeps moving forward. They're trying to strip it from him. He's down inside the 30. Greg, both these teams have now played 5 playoff games. For Iges, he's got 7 scoring touchdowns. Pretty nice postseason for that young man who's still just a junior.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. He'll be a guy we hear a lot about next year. Here comes a big 3rd down play here defensively. You got to get off the field right here. Be smart and make this tackle. Stop him short of the 1st down.
Can St. Helena get pressure up front? Is it Self, Torrance, Hitchin, or Muse?
Don't get too caught up with Iges running the ball inside now and let the quarterback keep it and hurt you on the outside.
It's a keeper by Hayes. Is he going to get the 2 yards? No, sir. They give him a favorable spot, but he's still going to be a little bit shy of the 30. And that should prompt a punt by Welsh.
Yeah, from Welsh, you kick the ball, get out of there. Don't give him a short field. But if you're St. Helena, you got to be fired up now. You got to call your defense off and give them a slap on the head and say, great job. They did exactly what you needed them to do, was to get a stop.
There's Coach Brown trying to bring a state title back home to Greensburg, Louisiana. He counts just 42 total players on his roster. And yet here they are in the championship game. Don't think for a second those guys are short on confidence either.
No, they have every right to be confident. I mean, they've come a long way.
Kicks this one away from Hurst. It takes a favorable bounce for St. Helena. Let's go down to the turf and talk with Jessica Province.
Garrett, thanks so much. Coach Brown interviewed 5 years ago and said that this exact day and time was in his 5-year plan. He proposed in his interview that if I'm not in the Dome in 5 years, then you can change something up. But as he came in his first year, he said it took some influencing and some convincing of the fan base to get behind him. He said the fans told him, we've been down for so long. If we're going to be on your team, you just have to convince us to do that. And guys, if you take a look at their sideline and their fan base, you can see that they are clearly behind Coach Brandon Brown and his enthusiasm and exactly what he's done with this program. Garrett?
Absolutely. Got to have faith, especially in this building. There's a nice little run over the left edge for the 1st down. Boy, I hope they got plenty of Gatorade into Troy Hurst at the half because they're going to put this thing on his shoulders.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, he rips off 13 yards right there, but you watch the play. Troy Hurst gets a high snap. This is a guy that's not accustomed to catching the football from the center. He gets a high snap and still is able to get the ball up the field, pick up a 1st down.
Looks like he was coming off a little bit gingerly. I think they're working out a cramp on him. Ricky Travis back in. It's a direct snap to him. And he'll stretch out. Ball came loose, but he was down just shy of the 40-yard line.
Hurst has got a cramp, and, they're going to work that out. They got to get him back in the ball game. He's the guy that's been successful running from that wildcat position, if you will. Taking that direct snap and just gashing. He's been gashing the defense.
We saw in yesterday's broadcast plenty of young players dealing with cramps as well. I'm not sure if it's an issue here in the Crescent City or not proper hydration during the week leading up to the Prep Classic, but let's hope they can get him back out there because he is an electric player. Here's Travis, lines up, makes the catch, gets a little yards after, and they'll be a yard shy of the 1st down. So again, Antoine Cyprian's 2nd catch of the ball game. Cyprian goes 5'8", 155 pounds, 7 yards on the pickup.
Cyprian was very close to breaking that for a very long game.
That 1v1 matchup on the outside, he's made it work. Here's the senior 4-year starter, Travis. He'll keep it himself. And they get a little pressure in the backfield on him, stop him shy of the first down.
I think you got to go for it if you're St. Helena. 4th down. I think you got 4th and 1. You need something good to come out of every possession. So I think you've got to go for it here.
The kicker for St. Helena is number 5, Matthew Claiborne. He's a 2-year starter, but he is just a sophomore. Coach said from 30 yards in, he's automatic. They're not that close right now.
Yeah, I think you got to go for it. Maybe take a timeout and talk about it, but get the play that you really want called, and maybe it's a chance to get Hurst back in the ballgame.
Timeout.
We'll step aside. A quick break for St. Helena.
That is their first
4th and 1 coming up for the Hawks here. They trail 31-8 against number 1 seed Welsh. Our 2A state championship game. St. Helena trying to score touchdowns on back-to-back drives to start the 3rd quarter. 4th and 1. And the ball's on the 34-yard line.
Big 4th down play here for St. Helena. Really surprised that Hurst is not the guy back there taking a snap.
1 wide out. Travis with the quarterback keeper. He'll go around the end, and he's got room to run. Great protection by his offensive line. Flushed him out of the pocket, but he had a sealed edge on the far sideline.
Well, Travis uses his ability to get away from the first tackler, and then gets outside, gets a first down marker. That's good heads up. Know where the down marker is. Watch him look up right here. He gets the first down, gets out of bounds. Move the chains.
Total yards for Welsh, 188. St. Helena in the second half approaching the Greyhounds with 147 now total. This is on just a drive and a half for the Hawks. Pretty impressive. A flag thrown in the backfield maybe. Here's another run around the end, just up towards the sticks. There is a flag on the field near sideline in front of Welsh's bench.
I think this is going to be against the offense. Probably an illegal formation because of the guy in motion.
Boy, Brandon Brown is fired up. And there's a player down for Welsh right
illegal
now
formation
being attended to.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Boy, that's Pickle. Josh Pickle, the senior. Pickle has made some plays on special teams, and they are working on his right leg, lower leg right now. Looks like he's in some pain.
Yeah. Hopefully he can.
Trying to take a look at what happened to him, because this was away from the play, Greg. I mean, they went to the far sideline to the sticks, and here he is laying in the middle of the field. You give a little bit more time to the St. Helena offense now to try and get together what they want to do here, now with the ball at the 31-yard line.
Well, I think St. Helena, you lost 5 yards on that, so you have to really regroup and get your focus back, and you got good things happening to you right now.
Love the great show of teamsmanship. Everyone on the Welsh sideline down on a knee for their teammate, the senior Josh Pickle. You hear the roar from the crowd. He's up on his feet, but it doesn't look good.
He's putting a little bit of weight on that right leg. It looks like it. Let's hope he can come back from that.
Carried off by his interior linebacker, Alec Iges, and one of the team officials. Yeah, that's right. Alex Iges was helped off earlier. Now he's helping a teammate off.
He helps his teammate off and straps up the helmet and get back out there for another play. This is a guy that doesn't come off the field. I mean, Iges just plays on both every down, both sides of the ball.
You can sense the momentum building for St. Helena. Welsh wants a stop here on 1st and long. Tackle in the backfield by the Greyhounds. They'll take Hayes down. So Hurst back in the ball game, tries to turn it up the right side.
Yeah, when Hurst gets a direct snap and he hesitates just a little bit, that lets the blocking schemes develop in front of him. That's how he had success early.
Boy, Hurst just a prime-time player on both sides of the ball. Coach said they've had him at wideout, quarterback, running back. He plays defensive back. Here's Travis with that gun and just throws it out of bounds short of the first marker. Very good pursuit by Welsh and number 58, John Daigle, the sophomore.
Well, everybody's covered downfield, and it's a good job just moving outside, not wanting to take the sack. And Travis was able to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage, but I think they're going to give him a intentional grounding call anyway because there was no receiver out there.
There's no foul on the play for intentional grounding.
No, they're going to wave it off.
Outside the pocket.
So now 3rd and 14 with a little over 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Back-to-back touchdowns for St. Helena would certainly send a message that they're back in this ballgame.
This is a play where you want to pick up half the yardage. If you can pick up about 7 to 10 yards, it puts you in a manageable 4th down, then you got to go for it.
Griffin trying to protect in the backfield. Going down is Ricky Travis. Let's see if Welsh came away with the football.
Yeah, Travis, he fumbled the football. Looks like he was holding it in one hand, and when he started to go to the ground, it hit his knee and came out. St. Helena's really fortunate to get the ball back here, although it's going to be 4th down.
Take a look at the replay. Griffin tries to pick up this blocker. It flushes Travis out of the backfield, and that one goes down. We'll see where they spot the ball. But
yeah, Travis just put the ball down to use it for balance, and it slipped right out of his hand.
So the ball back on the 34-yard line. They're going to need 18 yards to move the chains. Maybe take a shot down the field. An incomplete pass isn't the worst thing. He's got time to throw. They'll go down the field and just overthrows his intended wideout. Devin Taylor couldn't quite get under it.
Well, Devin Taylor, he beat his man. He was wide open. You've got to complete that pass. I mean, you watch it. You've got plenty of time. Ricky Travis has got time to set his feet and throw the football. You got to put a little more air under it and just let your guy run for it.
We ended up getting past the defensive back, Cade, I guess. But that one just out past his fingertips, and you can see Travis upset with himself on the sideline.
Ricky Travis not having a very good ball game. I mean, he's got to settle down and begin to play a really good ball game for his football team.
So the defense for Welsh turns it over on downs, and now the Greyhounds will take over at the 34-yard line. Here's Alex, I guess. Boy, he picks up 8 and 9 yards every clip.
If you're Welsh, I wouldn't throw the football again. Not with that kind of big yardage gain on 1st down. Just turn around and hand it off. Let I guess do his work.
I guess in the playoffs now with over 250 yards rushing across 5 games and 7 touchdowns. I'm sure Alex could come away with the ball here. They'll put it in his gut. He'll go over the 45 and be brought down with a tackle.
Big thing, he got a 1st down. I guess is going to limp off the field. He might be.
So I guess was pushed into action when the starting running back, Charlie Watkins, ended up having an MRI last week. Actually, on the same day we talked with Coach Richardson, he told us that his senior tailback, Watkins, potentially might not play in this game. I think I guess has done a great job spelling him.
He has done a really great job, and again, remember, he goes both ways, so that was a concern coming in, is how much can he play on either side of the ball like that. So far, he's done a great job on both sides for him.
You could see in that last shot that number 16, Josh Pickle, still laid out on the sidelines as well, getting treatment. Now 1st and 10 from the 46, and a strong run over the 50-yard line by Welsh. Pushed for a 1st down by his teammates. Austin Benoit with the 1st down run.
Austin Benoit, the new running back, just came in, and usually he's a wide receiver. They put him at the running back slot because I guess came off limping. And he picks up a first down on the first carry.
11 yards there. Benoit, about 6 foot, 180 pounds. He also returns kicks for them. And there's Iges talking with some trainers. Looks like he's doing all right. They give him his helmet back. Benoit around the left end, room to run. Second consecutive first down and more. He's brought down at the 20-yard line.
Benoit's a change of pace kind of guy. I mean, Iges is a big bruising guy who can run off tackle, but watch Benoit here with the speed to the outside. Sees nothing in there, then hits the corner. I think that's the kind of relief you want to come in there. You want a guy who can come in and maybe change the pace a little bit.
I'll tell you what, Zach Hayes, who threw so much in the first half, is doing a good job handing off here. That's not hard. All you got to do is jog up to the line of scrimmage after your guys get a first down.
Well, you're getting 10 yards, 10 to 12 yards per carry. Why not? Just hand it off.
St. Helena needs a stop here. They'll hand off to Benoit. Loses his footing a little, and he's slowed. Can't hit the hole quite as hard, but they're inside the 20.
You know, coaches that run this offense, they just turn around and hand it off in that zone read when they really just, it's predetermined. And all of a sudden, you get used to just running that running back, and then the quarterback pulls it and goes around the outside, and there's nobody home.
Iges remains on the sidelines, number 44. I'll tell you what, Welsh has played 14 ball games. They're 13-1. That guy has 175 tackles on the year.
Wow.
Putting in work. Red zone today, 4 trips, a 3 touchdown and 1 field goal day for the offense. Here's a nice run up the middle and a first down again for Welsh.
And it's Austin Benoit. He is having himself a game. I mean, he's looking to the sideline telling Iges, look, just stay there. Don't worry about it. I got this.
The stats given us by Welsh indicate that Benoit has not run the ball very often this year. He did have over 100 yards receiving. Benoit, one of those guys that plays in the secondary. That's the thing about these games, 1A, 2A, 3A. You see so many Iron Men at this level. One of the great parts of the ball game. Here's Benoit again. And gets past the defender at the line, into the second level, up to the 5-yard line.
You know, for a guy that has not carried the football very much or any at all during the season, Benoit makes an unbelievable cut right here. I mean, he's going to the outside, he sticks his foot in the ground, he goes up the field. And at the end of the third quarter, Welsh has got to be feeling good about where they are.
A 23-point lead for the Welsh Greyhounds. They're knocking on the door yet again. St. Helena needs a stop. We'll start the fourth quarter when we return to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Live coverage of the 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic continues at 3:30 p.m. with the Division II matchup between the University Lab Cubs and the De La Salle Cavaliers. Then at 7, we end the day with the Class 3A game between the Richwood Rams and the West Feliciana Saints. All games are live and only on CST. It would be an understatement to call these clashes of the Titans. I'm telling you what, some big boy football coming up. They need 4 yards, and they've got it. Touchdown, Austin Benoit. The last 6 carries belong to him for 50-plus yards and another touchdown for Welsh.
Austin Benoit makes this look easy. I mean, he's going to get a handoff. Watch, I don't even think anybody lays a hand on him. Cut up right there, and that's it. For a young man, again, that's not played very much at running back all year. He does a good job.
On the offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Oh, they have to do it again?
That's a little late. Yeah. Didn't see the laundry, and they'll back it up.
Back it up, yeah. Austin Benoit, since that carry did not count, he has 5 carries for 50 yards. 5 consecutive carries for 50 yards. 10 yards is up out. Wow. Give it to him again.
So Welsh will line up at the 11-yard line. 1 wide and a crowded backfield.
I think it's Zach Hayes' turn.
They'll go Benoit again. He gets over the 10. And third down coming up. Right now, St. Helena trailing by Well, if you maybe hold them to a field goal here, St. Helena would be down by 26 points. But they've got to get a stop here. A turnover would be golden. But the way that Welsh has moved the football this afternoon in the championship game, you see Austin Benoit's numbers now. 7 carries for 55 yards, all on this drive. And the 6-footer has certainly shown a very good burst.
Yeah, I think Welsh is going to have to take a timeout.
Yeah. Welsh, that is their first timeout of the half.
First timeout by either team, and we will take it with them. 11:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter of the 2A state championship game. Welsh looking for more. 31-8, Welsh knocking on the door inside the red zone. Let's go down on the field with Jessica.
Well, Garrett, senior linebacker Josh Pickle will not be returning to the field as he now has ice on his right knee. However, if you walk the Welsh sideline, they're using pickles to their advantage. They're drinking pickle juice and to stay uncramped and stay healthy throughout this fourth quarter. Pickle going both ways today, good and bad.
Trying to ward off the cramps. That is always what the coaches have prescribed for players over the last several decades.
Pickle juice.
Let's see if it works. Hey, it's better than salt tablets. Whistles blow again.
Well, they have to restart the play clock there. The play clock had wound down to about 3 seconds, so the officials tell them, hey, let's give them a full 25 seconds here to get this play off.
Ball spotted on the 9-yard line, and you will see 4 wide. Trips to the bottom of your screen for Welsh. 3 passing touchdowns in the game already. Catch is made into the end zone. 4th touchdown pass of the day for Zach Hayes, and it's Alex Iges who just checked back into the ball game. 9 yards on the pass, and Welsh is up 37-8.
Well, St. Helena has not stopped that tight end releasing all game. You watch him, you see the tight end, he's going to release it, come across the formation, run away from the linebacker. That play has worked the entire football game for Welsh.
Unfortunately, 2 St. Helena defenders ran into each other and gave him an easy alley into the end zone. 2nd receiving touchdown of the game for Iges. Darren Zeno has a pair of catches as well. What a day for the quarterback, Zach Hayes, finding the open man. Lopez puts it through, and it's a 30-point lead for the Greyhounds. I don't think anybody would have expected this, Greg.
No, I don't think so. You know, Walsh can run the football, they can throw the football, and Iges does a good job, just gets right in front of the linebackers for the touchdown.
Demetrius Brown and Myron Smith Jr. kind of ran into each other right on the lip of the goal line, and that let him get into the end zone almost untouched. Well, we were looking at a game where St. Helena was about to climb back into it. Unfortunately, Ricky Travis was not able to connect on a long pass down the field on 4th down, and Welsh just got right back to business.
Yeah, St. Helena got everything they wanted when they came out at halftime. They got the ball, they took it down, they drove in, they got a touchdown, 2-point conversion. They come back on the defensive side, and they got something going, and all of a sudden, they end up giving up some big plays, and now this game again has gotten away from them.
Greyhounds have made 2 previous trips to the Superdome, the first coming in 1989. You see the scoring drive, 10 plays, 66 yards, and 4:35 off the clock. 4th passing touchdown of the game for Hayes. Welsh also qualified for the state finals in 1992. Both times the Greyhounds lost in the 2A championship game, first to Jonesboro Hodge and then to Coshada in 1992. Here's Troy Hurst, who if you're St. Helena, you would like to see more of as we tick into the 4th quarter. Head coach for those Greyhound teams was Dutton Wall. He had them on the verge of hoisting the trophy here in the Superdome. They're hoping 3rd time's a charm. They have certainly made a statement today, racing out to a 30-point lead.
Well, I tell you, they've really come out with a lot of fire and focus in this ball game, and it's paying off for them right now. They're on the verge of getting their first championship, and you take a look at this. A chance to break through. No state championships in major sport. 0-4 in state finals. Football is we talked about that at the beginning. They've come close.
Half the battle is getting there. Got to be able to play for it.
But what I like, they came out with a fire where they weren't just happy to be here. They came out and said, hey, look, we can win this game.
Michael Martin makes the catch, number 21. 6'2", 170, a junior. He'll head back out to the edge.
If you're St. Helena now, you have to throw the football. You had some success with Hurst running it, but that won't get you there because the time just won't allow.
4-3 on defense for Welsh. Here's Travis airing it out again. He's got a man wide open, and the catch is made by Devin Taylor. Long completion, marching towards the end zone is St. Helena.
What a throw by Ricky Travis. I mean, that's just, he just throws this thing out there and lays it out for his receiver to go get it. That's a huge play.
Well, it looks like Welsh is going to have to start playing a little bit closer to the vest, not just to count on the run by Hurst. So here's Travis, flushed out of the pocket. This could be a big loss. Instead, it's an interception.
Touchdown.
No, touchdown for St. Helena. Fernando Muse comes away with it, just like they drew it up.
Well, you know that now they have this, what they call a 50-50 ball. If the receiver and the defensive back, if they're even, just throw it up and let your guy go make a play. And that's exactly what happens. Watch this, the quarterback's on the roll. He sees the receiver out there. Just throw it up and hope your guy can go out and make a play for you. And that's exactly what happens.
It'll go down as a 15-yard pass. He threw that thing with a foot on the 30, off his back foot. Comes away with the second touchdown of the game. Uh-oh, that's the big man, Osiris Torrance. Might be able to find something that happened to him at the end of the play. Could be cramps.
Let's hope so. He's had a heck of a football game. I mean, he's played tough inside, but hopefully it's just cramps and he can be back.
I'll tell you what, the side of the line for St. Helena with Torrance on offensive tackle, Dravion Hitchin at 380 inside at the guard. You'd hate to lose an advantage like that. 6'5", 330. Torrance might be the most versatile lineman for this team, and he's still growing. We mentioned earlier, Ed Ogeron heard about him, saw some footage, and called him a full-grown man. He still has a season to play here, and it looks like he's favoring that right foot.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing about him is he's back next year. He's got a whole another year of high school football.
He'll grab a seat, and St. Helena will try and kick the extra point, or will they go for two?
No, they're going to go for two.
Boy, they sniffed that one out, didn't they? But he stays on his feet. Pass into the end zone. That one might have hit the dirt, but it'll be picked up. And that two-point conversion is thwarted by Welsh. So Ricky Travis is flushed out of the pocket, makes something happen here.
I watch Ricky Travis here. He starts to roll, and all of a sudden he just raises up and throws the football. What do you know? Touchdown.
Muse comes away with it right over the fingertips of Austin Benoit, who goes about 6 feet tall.
Fred Muse goes up and pulls it in.
So now a 24-point game, and Greg, 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions, and you can tie it up. Not enough time, though.
Well, you have
on St. Helena's side.
Well, if you're St. Helena, you've got to get the ball back. You've got to figure out a way to either make Walsh turn the football over or an onside kick, but you've got to get the ball back quickly.
So they've scored 2 touchdowns here in the second half after just 42 total yards of offense in the first frame. There's Hurst, who's playing both sides of the ball, hands on his hips. I'm sure he will sleep soundly this evening. Whistles blow. They might have said somebody was offsides. Now they're going to start the play clock.
Yeah, you're almost tempted to try an onside kick here.
It is an attempt. It takes a high hop, and going down with it is Benoit. So fortunate for Welsh to come away with the football. They will take over right around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and there's that guy again, number 2, Benoit. You know, he run the football, gets the onside kick. I think he'll get a chance to carry the football a couple more times before this one's over.
Hayes has been lights out today. Very accurate passing.
13 of 17, 140 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's the big one.
He's also gotten positive yards on 7 rushes for 21 yards and a scoring touchdown. He had a nice little bootleg to the right side at the goal line. If you're Welsh, you can't take your foot off the gas here. St. Helena can score. You just got to keep eating that clock.
Stand it to number 2.
Benoit again had his face mask jerked, and they're going to give more yards at the end of the run.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though, if you see that guy sprinting by you, you got to do something to stop him or he's in the end zone.
So Benoit's a junior, and I look forward to seeing what he does next year.
Face mask from the defense, number 52. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Play results in a first down.
Oh, this will be a nice tight shot, too. Benoit gets past one level of defenders and then just gets ripped, basically, by St. Helena and the sophomore, number 52, Marquise Baker. They're growing big over there.
Yeah, and young. I mean, look at these guys.
All coming back. They'll lose their quarterback in Ricky Travis, but a whole lot of pieces are coming back for St. Helena. So the Hawks back out on defense. Welsh with 5 touchdowns on the day. 4 different players have scored. Stagger set, stop of your screen, 3 wide. Here's Benoit trying to round the edge. It ran right through a defender. They ripped the ball out. And the official's going to call him down just shy of the 35-yard line. Got to be careful there. Like you said, St. Helena would love a turnover.
Yeah, if you're Welsh, the only thing that hurts you is if you turn the football over.
There's the senior Charlie Watkins, who did not start the ball game. He'll be carried off the field. Smile on his face as the fans give him a rousing ovation, the senior. And Greg, I'm not sure if they didn't just bring him into the game to have a start to get the curtain call. Look at that. Beautiful moment. A senior who led the way this year in the ground game. Special moment for Welsh and their fans. Benoit again tries to power through the line and gets taken down.
You know, a lot of credit to St. Helena. I mean, they came back and fought in the second half, so a lot of credit to those guys. They didn't give up.
I think we have a chance on replay to see what Watkins did. 5'9", 175-pound senior tailback. Look for him, number 34. 24 lays the block, trying to spring Benoit. So he comes in, maybe his only play of the game, and gets positive yards.
When you watch that play, you know that Watkins was hurt going in, and I mean, he was just hopping on one leg. I think they did just want to get him in the game.
Coach told us that he was having an MRI earlier this week. Here's Benoit off to the races again. 30 to the 20. It's stripped loose, and that should be a live ball for St. Helena. There is a flag down. St. Helena with Dylan DeGeiter. Knocks out one man at the 20 and finally brought down by the lineman.
This will be a big call. We got 2 flags on the play. We got one on each side of the football field. We'll see what the call is.
That was Myron Smith that came away with the ball, tried to get 10, 15 yards on the return.
Holding on the offense, number 3 before the fumble. That penalty is declined. First down, St. Helena.
There's your turnover.
That's it. You got the turnover. Now you got to get the ball in the end zone quickly.
Slade McNabb, the offensive lineman, a junior, with a pretty good lick on Myron Smith Jr. to end the play. Let's take a closer look at that fumble.
Watch right at the end. They just reach in and pull it out. It's a good job of ripping at the football right there. See Myron Smith, he reaches in and then just rips that football out. That's the way they teach you to do it.
Force the fumble and the recovery. Here's Travis with that strong passing arm, eyeballing a receiver, telling him to go long. Puts this one up in the air. It's up for grabs, and no one will come under it. Let's get an update on the big man in the middle for St. Helena, Osiris, to go down with Jessica.
Garrett, he seems to be okay. It was looking like it was going to be his right leg, but it seems more to be his right quad. He's getting it stretched out, drinking a lot of water, kind of massaging it, but he seems to be in good spirits and is up and walking. Grabbed his helmet just a couple seconds ago. Could be back in.
Well, he's a big-time player for them on both sides of the offensive and defensive lines. They need him. Here's Travis surveying the field. 2nd and long. He's got a block. They'll flush him out of the pocket, and he'll go deep again. Again, overthrows his man.
Had him open that time. Just needed to throw that ball a little bit more to the inside, and you've got a chance.
That play to Devin Taylor has worked earlier this evening. Picked up, I believe, 48 yards in the 3rd quarter on a play like that.
Devin Taylor, the senior, beat the defensive back. Had a couple of steps, but the ball just thrown out of bounds.
I just love it when you have a linebacker line up at wide receiver. He's a big kid, 6'2", 215. And if you're a defensive back looking at that kind of size and you know he's got the mindset of a linebacker, I don't know. Not trying to make contact there. 4 wide set, man in motion is Devin Taylor. 3rd and 10. This will be caught just shy of the 1st down marker, and 4th down coming. Nice defense there by Welsh.
Let's go 4th down and probably about 3 yards to go. You got to go for it. I mean, 4th and 2, why not?
That's Michael Martin, the 6'2 junior. And now deep in their own territory. They'll go for it. 4th and 2. Maybe a quarterback keeper. Maybe take the tailback and go around the right end. It'll be Travis. I think it'll depend on the spot.
I think he's got the 1st down.
I do too.
Yeah, well, the spot looks like he's got the 1st down.
Huge play in this ball game. Travis a little bit slow to get back up. I don't know if that was a design play or not, but the pocket collapsed, and he was able to get positive yards out of it.
It looked like for a minute he had a really big alley to run in, then all of a sudden it closed, and it's going to be going to have to measure for a 1st down.
The officials will have to make a decision whether they want to measure or not. Will they bring the chains out?
I think they will. Yep.
You're going to hear a heck of a roar for the Welsh fans if they're short by any distance.
I think it's a 1st down. Just by the nose of the football.
I'll tell you what, both these quarterbacks laying it on the line this evening. Ricky Travis has taken some hits. So has Troy Hurst. They're out there doing everything they can to try and bring victory to their school and its fan base.
Now, Ricky Travis could barely move around back there. You see how bad he's limping on that leg?
If you're Coach Richardson for the Welsh Greyhounds, you got to think he's faking. He's about to spring one on me. Here's the handoff to Hurst. And Hurst picks up good yards on 1st down.
Well, I think they just had to run the ball because of the quarterback. I think he's injured, and they couldn't trust him trying to throw the ball. Hopefully he can bounce back on this play because they've got to put it in the air eventually to have any chance.
We haven't seen a lot from the senior running back for St. Helena, number 2, Jeremy Griffin, here in the 2nd half. It's been Hurst and Travis in the backfield. Now Griffin checks back in. Handoff to him. Trying to turn the corner. He's at the 40. Gets knocked back, still on his feet. And they'll be about 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Good run.
Well, the thing that Griffin does here is he's going to try to beat the defender to the corner. He's going to take a pretty good shot, but he gets out of bounds and stops the clock. I think that's a big thing for him right now at this point. Since you can't pick up a 1st down, just get out of bounds and stop the clock.
There's Zeno again with a big pop. Now 3rd and 2. Travis in the backfield. Griffin's with him, waiting for a man to come open. This one's right into the breadbasket of Hurst. Hurst off to the races, and it's a touchdown. 40 yards. 3rd touchdown of the game.
And you watch Hurst on this one. He comes up limping afterwards, and we'll see how hurt he is, but he's going to run a route. He's sort of right of the screen. He starts the inside, and he runs the corner route, and the ball is perfect.
That one goes over his shoulders. 7 plays on the drive, and it's capped with a 60-yard touchdown catch for Hurst. You can see he's struggling, but still laying it all out there.
St. Helena's going to go for 2.
That's his 8th touchdown catch of the season. Now over 300 yards receiving on the year.
Both
Travis
Hurst
out of
and
the ball
Travis.
game.
Both Hurst and Travis are out of the ball game.
I believe this is Deshaun Singleton, who loses the football. He simply needs to cover it on the busted 2-point conversion, and a flag flies. Singleton, the freshman, lost the handle on it.
We got a flag on the play. Wouldn't that be something if it's a defensive penalty? That'll give St. Helena another shot. But I think it's going to be against St.
Legal
Helena.
formation on the offense. That penalty is declined. The try is no good.
That was the first time we saw Deshaun Singleton, the 6'3 freshman. But an incredible touchdown pass by Ricky Travis into the hands of Troy Hurst. More fourth quarter action when we return. It's a little bit closer here in the Prep Classic. This copyrighted telecast of the 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Cox Sports Television. The most wonderful time of the year, the Prep Classic, 3 days of championship football games here in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Welsh has given up 3 touchdowns now to St. Helena here in the second half. The Greyhounds might be wary of another onside kick by the Hawks.
They got their hands team out there. You see those guys with the receivers, running backs, and they're ready to reach out and get this football.
Troy Hurst really starting to pile up the numbers. A 60-yard touchdown reception. He's got 9 rushes for 56 yards and a touchdown as well. This one's loose, still on the field, and I think St. Helena's recovered.
Yeah, I think they're going to give it to Welsh.
Yep. Hawks trying to come away with the football.
St. Helena had a chance.
The black and red come up with it. Thought it was the lineman that fell on it, and instead...
Oh, it's the onside kick. It gets a perfect hop. And the first Welsh guy misses the football, misses it. And it's Igaz, 44. And it's recovered by number 56.
Dylan Hughes, the offensive lineman working on special teams. So the defense really needs to stand tall for St. Helena here.
How big of a play would that have been if St. Helena had gotten the ball back right there?
Inside the 50. Instead, Welsh will try to air out this clock. Zach Hayes in at quarterback.
Igaz gets the ball again. Alec Igaz. He's back in the game.
I'll tell you what, an inside linebacker, he is a punishing runner. Charlie Watkins, the starting tailback, not able to go in this game with a knee injury. Igaz has been better than advertised. There's Coach John Richardson. 53 wins in 5 years. Igaz now with 7 rushes for 54 yards total. He has 2 receiving touchdowns in the game. Now 2nd and 4. Igaz again. And it's a sizable lead for Welsh. We saw Benoit running the ball primarily on the last drive, but he ended up having it stripped away, so Igaz comes back in.
Yep, Benoit did a great job when he was in the ball game. Had that one error where he dropped the football, and they need ball security right now because the only thing can hurt you is if you turn the football over. The clock's your friend, and we're going to be under 5 minutes when they snap the ball this time.
Check your phone for 5 seconds. The answer coming up. You already know.
What a day for Zach Hayes. 4 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. And they're still looking at 4 wide.
And he ran for a touchdown.
Well, it's special whenever a team is able to bring home a state championship, but when it's the first one in school history, no one will ever forget. They're on the verge.
So, how far will your car travel with your eyes on the phone? From one end zone to the other.
Hayes honored at halftime as one of the academic all-stars at the 2A level. If I'm the head coach, do I really want my quarterback going out at the half? I'm sorry, Coach. I got to go get a trophy.
Well, when you have a 31-0 lead, you can do that.
All right, I'll let you go for a moment.
I think St. Helena's going to start taking some time out here.
St. Helena.
We're under 5 minutes, and let's see if they can give a chance to get the ball back with 3rd and 9.
Well, Welsh has had some big-time performers in the recent past, like running back Keyshawn Bell, who ran for 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns in 2014, and Cavante Eaglin, 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns in the same season. Can't forget about quarterback Hayden Freeland, who threw for 14 touchdowns. He helped establish a solid passing game. What I'm getting at, these guys put in a very good foundation, and now Welsh reaping the benefits up big here in the 2A title game. You can catch your favorite outdoor shows on CST beginning on Wednesday and all the way through our Sunday morning. CST brings you a variety of shows that include the best tips on fishing and hunting in the South. Visit coxsportstv.com to get a full listing of shows and air times. CST is your leader in Gulf South sports.
You know, as you look at this Welsh team and talk about winning their first state championship, they're going to have a lot of these guys that will come back. Some of their exciting players will be back. Igaz will be back for another year. Benoit will be back. Of course, they're going to have to figure out how to replace Zach Hayes, but for the most part, they'll have some good returning players.
Welsh nearly 50% on 3rd down today. They need 9 yards to keep the clock moving. Almost intercepted by the end. Kind of threw that against the grain and nearly paid the price for it.
Alex Self, number 63. You watch Self there. He's going to play slow plays. It reads it. Boy, if he picks that off, he's got a touchdown.
Boy, if he pulls off an Odell Beckham one-handed catch there, I don't know if anybody's going to stop him.
Well, the big thing is the incompletion stops the clock again, and it brings up 4th down. You've got a chance to get your hands on the ball if you're St. Helena.
So now 4th and 9. And it looks like the punt is upcoming for Welsh. They'll try and pin them very deep.
Yeah, Welsh will take the delay of game.
Could help Trevor Lopez out.
On the offense, 12 players on the formation. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
5-yard penalty. That's Welsh.
They had one too many.
So Coach Richardson, playing the averages here, wants to give himself a little bit more breathing room and try and get this thing maybe inside the 15, even the 10-yard line.
I think if you can just kick it and keep him inside the 20, I think that's a good punt.
Hurst back there deep to receive for St. Helena has done a nice job today on punts and kicks. Waves this one off, and it is out of bounds. It went out around the 15-yard line. We'll see where they spot the ball.
Wow, they're bringing this one up inside it's going to be almost at the 25.
You can join Victor Howell, former linebacker Scott Shanley, and our Saints insider Mike Neighbors Sunday, December 17th for all your Saints game day needs. We start our coverage at 10:30 a.m. with Saints Game Day as we get you ready for the black and gold matchup against the Jets. Then at 10:30 p.m., tune in for post-game coverage on Saints Tonight as Deuce McAllister joins the group, and we bring you our exclusive one-on-one interview with Drew Brees. CST, 15 years and counting. Let's hope the same officials from last night in the Mercedes-Benz Georgia Dome don't make the game in the Superdome. So here's Ricky Travis back in the gun. Pass is complete shy of the 30. They'll pick up about 4 hard yards. I think reality has set in for St. Helena. You're not going to win the ball game, but to finish off strong would mean something, and to wind out the rest of the clock, come away with a touchdown, and cut into the lead can be something they can be proud of. They've had a fantastic season.
They have. They have really played tough.
Travis goes for the home run ball, overthrows the receiver at the 40, trying to get that into the hands of Martin.
Well, I think it was a little miscommunication that time. Travis thought he was going to keep running the fly route, and Michael Martin decided to cut it, turn it inside, and the ball was overthrown.
Maybe the best performance by the St. Helena defense this year came last week in the semifinals at Faraday, held them to 6 total points. I don't know if a lot of people gave St. Helena a chance to win that ball game, but they came out with one of the best road victories in school history. Pass right over the middle through the receiver's hands. Tough break for Devin Taylor.
Just a little bit behind Devin Taylor. He had, if he throws that ball out in front of him, he's able to catch it and run for a long time. There was nobody around him.
Coach Brandon Brown has his team inside the Superdome, and they've got a whole host of players coming back next year. Could be a special 2018. St. Helena 2 for 3 on 4th down this afternoon. Nice catch and the hang. That'll move the sticks. Troy Hurst, second catch of the ball game.
Good job, Troy Hurst, knowing exactly what he had to get for a first down and just turned around, sat down, and got the football.
Welsh with a 4-man front. Travis has had time to throw on this drive. Here comes the blitz, picked up by Griffin. Travis hesitates, throws down the field now, and a spectacular catch cannot be made. Just kind of lost that one in the lights of the Superdome. Troy Hurst had a beat on it, and then it disappeared.
Troy Hurst is slow to get up. Maybe he's cramping up a little bit.
The offensive line for St. Helena, 5 juniors in front of Ricky Travis. Torrance, Hitchens, Muse, and Self. All poised to come back in 2018. None of them less than 250. Pretty impressive.
When you take that and look at that defensive line and what they get back over there as well.
Get a couple of sophomores some starts, maybe have an impact freshman as they stretch out Hurst. Things could be just as bright or brighter next season. Now 2nd and 10. 4-wide set. Little safe throw underneath to Devin Taylor. He breaks the tackle and has a first down over the 50.
That's why that size comes into play. I mean, he's tough for one guy to bring down.
Let's get an update on Hurst from Jessica.
Yeah, Garrett, Troy Hurst has been worked on the sideline throughout the game. It seems to be calf cramps that he's dealing with. They'll stretch out his calves, sit him up, and then massage his shin, so possibly shin splints as well.
Here's Travis going over the top again. Almost has it picked off. It's been a heck of a day for Hurst. Filling in at running back. On defense, making plays. He's over 100 total yards and 2 receiving touchdowns in the game. Looks like he's poised to come back in. The final 3 minutes of the season here in the 2A championship game. Welsh did a very nice job in their semifinal win against Manny. And of course, St. Helena beat Faraday. 4 very good teams in the semifinals this year. Travis all day to throw. Sends a receiver wide, and he'll throw it into the end zone. And they just got their lines crossed there. Mike Martin didn't run up the post.
Yeah, that time Travis wanted him to just break the route off and just run a go route, and Mike Martin didn't do that. They're really fortunate. The ball just fell to the ground.
Well, if these are the final attempts in the bright career of Ricky Travis, they've been good ones. 3 touchdowns here in the second half. He's 11 of 21, approaching 200 yards passing with 2 touchdowns.
Ricky Travis can certainly throw the deep ball. I mean, he's shown that to us today.
Also a player on the basketball team and a Grambling State commit. Here's 3rd and 10. Gets this one away. Trying to put it in the hands of Taylor. He goes up, and he came down with it. Huge catch for St. Helena. Into double coverage. How did he take that away from 2 defenders?
Devin Taylor, that's a 50-50 ball. He just goes up and just takes it away from him.
47 yards on the hookup, right on the doorstep of the goal line.
But you watch him here. He's got double coverage. The free safety's coming over the top to give some help. You see the safety there? It doesn't matter. Devin Taylor just goes up and says, that's my football.
I think it's Guess who's about to close in on him just as he releases the ball. Can't quite get his fingers on him. Ooh, they bent him backwards. Goodness. we certainly hope Ricky Travis is okay. That was a heck of a lick that he took. A legal hit, but a heck of a lick.
Ricky Travis, I think he was able to get up and...
Right now, put it in the hands of Hurst. Let him run it in. Travis still on the field, though, but his helmet came off as he limps off the field.
Listen, I'll tell you, a lot of credit goes to St. Helena and the coaching staff and the players as we see Travis limps off the football field there. I think you just line up and run the quarterback power, try to get in the end zone. This is going to be a false start against St. Helena.
Dead ball, false start, number 2 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Ball was on the 2-yard line.
Jeremy Griffin at that time just got started a little bit too early. He had 4 plays to get it in here. First and goal. You guys got to take 4 shots at it.
Well, the Welsh defense poised to give up 4 touchdowns in the second half. Here's a run out by Hurst. He's got a lead blocker. Dives into the end zone, and the 4th touchdown of the ball game for St. Helena.
Wow. I'll tell you, St. Helena's going to go to lose this ball game, and they're making it a game, but you got to give them a lot of credit. There's no quit in this football team. I mean, you watch these guys play. You watch Hurst when he goes for the end zone, you'll never believe they're up. It's 38-20.
Watch Jeremy Griffin. 5'5", 175, clears the block. He goes airborne, and he's into the end zone.
That's just an incredible play.
They'll go for 2. He'll try and run around the end again. Too much pursuit by Welsh, and they knock him out of bounds. That was a solid shot there. Looks like number 12 got him. Cade, I guess, the 5'10" senior linebacker. That's going to be a long walk back across the field.
Wow. I don't think Hurst can quite make it back to the bench. He has to take a breather on the way back.
Greg, let's take a closer look at this 2-point conversion try. They just tried to get wide.
Yeah, he's just trying to outrun him to the corner. There were really just too many defenders out there for him, and Hurst is trying to push in. And that young man's had a heck of a ball game. He has given it his all.
Little lanyap there by I guess, but with a talented player like Hurst, he could stretch it, try and get in the end zone. You got to knock him out of bounds, not give him a shot. There's Travis in the top of your screen. Looks like he's dealing with some injuries as well.
Ricky Travis, boy, he came up big when he had to.
Laid out on the ground right now. Very nice finish for St. Helena here in the ballgame, and they're still just shy of 2 minutes. An onside kick and another turnover.
2 minutes, they're only down 12 points. If they get this onside kick back, that's going to be huge. That means the ballgame's still alive. They can get in and score and make it a really close game.
Onside kick. This one pops up at the 50, and they can't strip it free. An attempt there by Demetrius Brown, but they can't jar it loose, and Welsh might be able, with just 1 timeout remaining for St. Helena, to run the clock out.
Yeah, Alec, I guess, gets the ball on the onside kick. He has done everything today.
Fantastic drive for St. Helena. 10 plays, 77 yards. They took 2:08 off the clock, and Hurst, who has scored 3 touchdowns on the day, got into the end zone. Well, when you win a title, they call it a coronation, and Zach Hayes wears the crown today. 4 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. The senior quarterback couldn't have drawn it up better.
Zach Hayes, he did a good job running the offense, getting them in and out of things, and really The big one was on the field goal that was a bad snap. He was able to stay under control and throw it for a touchdown.
Head coach for St. Helena, Brandon Brown, is out on the field, calling hard for the turnover, but the officials ruled him down.
I think St. Helena, I thought they took their last time out, but they did not.
Clock continues to tick here.
And this was a St. Helena team that came in, was really outmanned coming into the ball game when you just look at sheer numbers. And they made a bunch of mistakes early in the first half, which I think cost them the ball game.
Here's the handoff in the backfield from Hayes, running hard over midfield. There's your final timeout by St. Helena and head coach Brandon Brown. Still a young man over there on the sidelines, and he runs a dynamic defense. I mean, these guys, just an incredible regular season the last 2 years, shutting out opponents.
I think today maybe just a little nerves coming into the game. You could tell at the beginning they were tight, made a few mental mistakes that cost them and put them really behind. They were down, 31-0 at halftime. They've held this Welsh team to only one touchdown, one score in the second half.
You got to think that it would be a little bit different if the senior Aaron Hurst was here today. A lot of people have prayers for him, sent them up thinking about him. Number 8, the senior, 5'11", 190-pound tailback who had the neck injury against Faraday. Wherever he is, they put in an incredible second-half effort out for you today, young man. I hope you know your team was thinking about you for all 4 quarters. So St. Helena comes back out on the field.
Yeah, no timeouts. I think that they're going to have to pick up a first down to be able to run the clock out.
Benoit out of the backfield, and a defender loses his hat. That's Hurst.
Again. Benoit's going to be just short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down and inches. I think if you're Welsh, you got to go for it. I think you just line up and hand it off. I think you could do a quarterback sneak, but you're not accustomed to your quarterback taking the ball under center, so you don't want to run that risk. And so I think you just snap it, turn around, and hand it off.
St. Helena has dominated the time of possession in the second half. They have 290 yards of offense. Timeout by Welsh. The Greyhounds just 60 yards of offense generated in the second half.
That is the second timeout of the half.
We've got 2 more big-time broadcasts coming up today. Live coverage of the 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic continues at 3:30 p.m. with the Division II matchup between the University of Ladd Cubs and the De La Salle Cavaliers. Both those teams are undefeated. Then at 7, we end the day with the Class 3A title game between Richwood and West Feliciana. All games are live and only on CST.
There's a shot of St. Helena, and they're just congratulating each other, and well-deserved. I mean, these guys laid it on the line. I mean, you'd get down 31-0 at half, and, you don't have 70 players on your team to begin with, so you come out and really give a valiant effort in this second half.
They outscored the Greyhounds 26-8 here in the second. One more defensive play for them.
Just dug a little bit of too big of a hole.
The third trip to the Prep Classic for Welsh, and it looks like they are going to bring home the state championship.
Timeout. Welsh.
Timeout called by Welsh.
That is the final timeout of the half.
What's it like on the sidelines for the Welsh Greyhounds right now? You got guys might not have gotten into this game, but certainly the ones that have made the difference in it, they're thinking that this is one of the best days of their lives.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're excited that you win a state championship. It doesn't happen to many people. You just don't get that opportunity. And you think they've been there 3 times, almost got to the finals, and then they come out this time and win it. And I think they've got to be excited about being the first championship in their school history.
There's their starting tailback and senior leader, Charlie Watkins, who got a very nice curtain call after one play on the field earlier. They're ready for the excitement to begin with the trophy presentation, which of course we'll cover. 40 seconds remaining in the ball game, 4th and 1. Here's your quarterback keeper. They bulldoze forward, and that's going to do it. The first down by the senior, Zach Hayes, and the Welsh fans can celebrate here on the floor of the Dome.
This is Zach Hayes, and celebrated with his teammates. We got a down player for St. Helena.
That's sophomore Kerry Overton. He's being attended to by his crew. .59", 165-pound sophomore. Didn't see what happened at the end of the play, but that was a huge pile moving forward and a big push by the Welsh O-line.
Welsh came out in the second half, did just enough, got enough to keep a little momentum and win the football game.
Nice to see that young sophomore pop back up. Looks like the left leg is an issue, possibly his ankle.
Let's hope he's okay, and I think we'll see more of this St. Helena team. I think they're a team to be reckoned with. They showed you that they've got a lot of promise, a lot of young guys, and they've got a lot of heart. Come back in the second half. They got things they can build on.
Well, victory formation for the Welsh Greyhounds. Benoit and I guess lined up in front of Zach Hayes.
Zach Hayes, just get the snap and take a knee right here.
Right on midfield. And that should do it. The Welsh Greyhounds and Coach John Richardson are your 2017 2A state champions in the Prep Classic. One of those special moments in sports. A team of 60 players rushes the field, champions. A tremendous display of emotion as Welsh captures the first sports title in school history for their football team with a 38-26 victory here in the Superdome.
They got an outstanding effort from a lot of different players on this team. You know, we talk about Zach Hayes and what he did. We talked about Alec Igas and his play. You know, you had some young guys come in and play when they had to, played well. When you talk about Austin Benoit stepping in and running the football pretty well. A total team effort, and you get a 38-26 victory for your first state championship.
We saw Coach Brandon Brown, nothing to hang his head about. A very good second half of football. He outscored the Greyhounds 26-8. His team finishes 12-3 on the year. Can't be disappointed when you have double-digit wins like that. At the end of the season, he was one of 2 teams standing. Let's go down onto the field with Jessica.
Garrett, thanks so much. Coach, you've been dreaming of this moment since your 9th grade year of high school.
No doubt.
You only wanted to play in here, but then you wanted to win, and you've accomplished both in one day. How good does it feel?
It don't even seem real yet. It's like it's not even sunk in. It's a tremendous feeling. Our guys just work so dang hard. And look, hats off to St. Helena. They got a great football team. And look, they were down 31-0, and they made us work for it. They could have cashed it in, but Coach Brown does a great job with those guys, and they have just a tremendous football team over there.
You have a lot of young players with a lot of talent that play both ways, and they played with effort today. What can you say about the effort and the determination that your team had?
Our kids just have a lot of heart. They play hard. They're not the greatest athletes sometimes, but they play extremely hard. And when it came late in the year, we knew we had to play those guys both ways to match up with some people. And we were struggling there towards the end. Thank God we didn't have another quarter because they were gassed, but I'm so proud of our kids.
You're in your 5th season, bringing home your first state title and the first state title to Welsh and the community. What does it mean?
It means so much to me. The people in the community have been so good to me. And just to be able to bring that into them, and I mean, you can see the support that we have here. It's a community win. It's everyone. It's not just me, the assistant coaches, the entire community. and our players. I'm just proud of everyone over there.
Enjoy this moment, Coach. Congratulations to you, guys.
Thank you, Jessica. Great efforts today. The first major piece of hardware is coming home to Welsh, Louisiana. More post-game when we return. The 2017 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic, presented by the New Orleans Saints on Cox Sports Television, is brought to you by the All-State Sugar Bowl, title sponsor of all LHSAA state championship events. Coca-Cola Zero. Want a taste of everything? Drink Coke Zero with real Coke taste and 0 calories. Roma Picks, official photographer of the LHSAA. ISC, proud sponsor of the LHSAA All Academic Awards. The LHSAA Regional Healthcare Network. And by Raising Cane's, official sponsor of the Prep Classic Poster Design Contest. We welcome you back in. The trophy presentation just moments away. Zach Hayes, your most outstanding player at the 2017 Prep Classic. What a performance by him.
Unbelievable performance by that young man. He got everything right. Zach Hayes, 13 of 18, 140 yards, 4 touchdowns, 8 rushes for 24 yards, and he ran for a touchdown. Outstanding.
State championship trophy in Class 2A, which goes to the Welsh High School Greyhounds.
The picture says it all.
Their last trip to the Dome came 25 years ago, 1992. They were not able to get it done. Actually, their senior class of 93 twice played in the Dome, couldn't bring home the title. This is for everybody associated with Welsh and their football program. They got it done today with a 12-point victory over a very good St. Helena Hawk squad. Second half effort by St. Helena. Ricky Travis, 183 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Troy Hurst with a big day as well, 2 touchdown catches. But it was Zach Hayes, the most outstanding player, who threw 4 touchdown passes and rushed in 1 for himself. He had a day, Greg, he'll never forget.
He'll never forget it. And you see what he means to meant to this football team. He led them throughout the season and showed why the coaches have so much confidence in him.
Well, not trying to joke around, but the first major state title in Welsh history. If they need to build a trophy case, build it, because you got the best trophy in the state of Louisiana coming home.
The hardware is coming home. And again, they're a pretty young team themselves, so they have a chance to be back here next year.
So just 1 loss on the season for Welsh. And they come away and raise the trophy on the floor of the Superdome. A reminder, a great ball game coming up between the undefeated De La Salle Cavaliers and the U High Cubs, the top 2 seeds in Division II. Let's go down onto the field with Jessica.
Garrett, thanks so much. Zach, first of all, congratulations on a state title, but also congratulations on a Most Outstanding Player award. What does this award mean to you?
Man, it means everything. I give credit to the whole team. It was a team effort. I know I couldn't go the whole second half with cramps, and everybody stepped up. We had running back step up, and give credit to everybody on the Welsh team, the Welsh fans, best fans of the state, and give credit to St. Helena. They're a great team. They fought back, and we just had to bring our A game. So,
Coach Richardson told us about this tight-knit group and how close y'all are as a team, and it was showed throughout the day as y'all continued to pray for one another as each guy went down. What would you say makes this program so unique?
Man, it's been 25 years since the last time we've been to the Dome, and this is our first state championship. And we've been talking about it all year. Coaches have been backing us, and I think we have the best coaching staff in the state. And behind them, we have the best players in the state, and it shows on the scoreboard, so that's what got it done.
Zach Hayes, congratulations to you. Enjoy this moment.
Thank you.
Garrett, coming up to you.
Thank you, Jessica. Greg, this was a 31-0 game at the half. A valiant effort by St. Helena to claw back into it, but Welsh made the plays when it counted.
Welsh did what they had to do to win the football game. They got themselves a big lead in the first half. Both these teams are young, so we should see them back again.
We appreciate everyone for joining us today. Stay tuned for the Division II matchup between the University Lab Cubs and the De La Salle Cavaliers. That's coming up on CST. For Greg Bowser and Jessica Province and all of our staff, I'm Garrett Walberg. Your final scores, St. Helena 26, Welsh 38. They bring home the first state title in school history.